Hey, welcome back to an episode of Instagram Podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and as always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey, dude.
How you doing, bud?
I'm tuckered out. I just watched a whole ass movie after work. Now we got to talk about it?
Life ain't fair, man.
You know what movie I watched?
Oh, I actually do. You watched Death Note, Light Up the New World.
Said it. So let's talk about it this week for our episode.
Yeah.
What do you say, bud?
Yeah, absolutely. What's more fresh than talking about a movie that came out 4 years ago?
Nothing that I know of.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like out of all the things we've done, we have the most Death Note centric episodes. Like
we do. And the fucked up thing about that is, and I think we've talked about this on the podcast, I don't give a fuck about Death Note.
It's fine. In your head, you're like, it's okay.
I'm like, it's great for new anime watchers. It's very accessible for them. My sister loved it. My mom loved it. I didn't give a fuck about it.
Bro,
years have gone by. And I'm still like, yeah, Death Note, it's fine. It did its good work.
It was the world's
Attack
best
on Titan of 2008 or whatever.
It gave us the world's best gift, though. I'm gonna grab a chip and eat it. It's so good, dude. But yeah,
pretty incredible.
We were trying to figure out what to watch. We had something planned, wasn't really worth it. Decided to do live action garbage, and then I gave you. You've never really cared what we do for live action garbage. I gave you three options.
Because I hate most stuff.
yeah, because you're gonna have a bad time. But I gave you three options. One was a show that I had seen that you hadn't seen. One was a show that you'd seen that I hadn't seen, and then the last one was yeah, and the last one was Death Note, this movie that came out 4 years ago, and it's like a sequel to the movies that we'd already seen in the past and reviewed. And I was like, fuck it, why not? And
let's do it.
After a little communication back and forth and figuring exactly what we were watching out.
Yeah, making sure it wasn't a sequel to the worst thing ever.
Yeah, we settled on it, and I'm going to say I had a good time, and I'm going to talk about it later in more detail. But yeah, it was good. I'm
I had
excited.
an okay time. It definitely fills that Death Note void in my life right now.
Which is like this big.
But we did it. It's great. I have some huge compliments. So we'll get into that later.
Cool, man.
Yeah. What have you been up to? What's your life? What have you been doing?
Okay, so this last week I've been working a lot. We're shorthanded at my parents' restaurant. So I've manned up, fucking put my bootstraps on or whatever, or strapped them. I don't know what you do bootstraps.
But I've been just have them.
But I've been helping out with the restaurant, and it's cool. It feels good. It's just it's something I did a lot when I was younger, like growing up working the talk truck and restaurant, and then I stopped because I wanted education. Do a different career path, but they needed help. I was like, yeah, dude, I'm more than able to help. It is kind of weird, right, to be out there working, especially with like the global pandemic. And I was telling you earlier, I was complaining about people just being assholes and giving you a hard time. I mean, when you're in the food industry, anytime you get a hard time in the food industry, retail, like people always try to sour your grapes. So I like to vent, like to my brother and my sister, because like we've dealt with the same stuff, and like I'll vent to Sierra. She's in retail and stuff also. And then I get it out, and then I feel better. Like, it's like cool.
Yeah, honestly, it's so frustrating when you're in that moment and you need something to get you away from it, whether or not it's like talking about it and venting about it. Sometimes that doesn't help, and then you just need something to completely take you away from it.
So sharing war stories with like my siblings is something that we do all the time, and it's cool because I haven't worked at a capacity like this in 4 years maybe, since like college started, right? And since I finished, so all my stories are just old stories. Like I don't have any new ones, and I'm collecting new ones. I'm back in the habit, and yeah, it was good. It's always cool to hang out with my brother. We're only a year and a half apart, but we are very different. But we get along pretty well, and we just kind of joke with each other, and it makes me happy. So it's just a good time to be with the family. Doing the business. So that's good. So even though it is work and I do get tired, I am enjoying it.
Family time.
I'm also enjoying when it stops and I don't have to do it anymore, so I can get back to my stuff, because I have been
living your own life, working hard on your animation.
And that has been slacking a little bit just because I don't have enough time.
You've been trying to fall too many guys.
Dude, yeah. Well, I got other priorities, guy. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's good. I'm excited for whenever it stops so I can focus on school stuff. But yeah, still animating, still sticking in there. Second big piece of news, I finally got to play Fall Guys with you on the weekend.
Huge. Which, hang on, before we get into that, you told us the story about your computer last week.
Right.
Do you want to give us an update before we get into us having fun?
I got an email Sunday morning, and it was Amazon. They're like, it was very well written, but essentially it boiled down to, yo, dude, what the fuck? Like, why did you tell on us? You went to your fucking card issue provider, and now they hit us up. Not cool, dude. Go to
bro. We didn't get a response from you. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, kid?
They're like, yo, dude, next time just go to the A to Z easy customer service and make a claim there. I was like, I fucking did. So I had to
twice, like 3 times. How many times did you try? Yeah.
So I had to make a huge long ass email explaining everything that I've already explained to everybody already. And at the very end, I was like, look, man, like, to be completely honest with you, like, I understand you don't like the fact that I went to my bank to have them help me. It's like, but
didn't like that fact either.
But yeah, because it was so annoying. But I was trying to say, like, look, in the future, if something like this happens again, I am absolutely going to go to my bank and do the exact same thing because
it got results.
Because I had to do that, and then 6 days later, you guys finally hit me back up. So I think, then they emailed me back after the super long thing. No apologies, no nothing. It was just like, okay, we were going to continue to, figure out this issue with your card provider. It could take up to 30 to 60 days. Luckily, the bank has already credited me back the money that was mine. If the thing ever shows up, I just have to not sign for it and it gets sent back. But yeah, it looks like it's resolved. It's just really
for anybody
stupid.
Confused by this story. Juan ordered a computer. It never came in. He tried to figure out where it was. It still says like it's missing. Mm-hmm. And they said, okay, we'll refund you. But if you don't get refunded within these days, I will personally call you. Guy never personally called. He said also, if the computer shows up, by the way, you have to send it back. And yeah, Juan's like, yeah, fucking, I don't want that shit anymore, dude. I'm pissed. I hate this. So
I just
now we are here where you actually have a refund. Yeah. But you had to go about it the most like bullshit, annoying ass way possible.
My brother, when I was telling him about it, he's like, "Yo, bro, you got really fucking up in their shit." I was like, "Yeah, dude, because if you don't fucking get in their face, they're just gonna fucking keep jerking you around." And so I was like, "Not this guy. I'm tired of jerking. I don't want to do it anymore. You know?"
Yeah.
Yeah, But yeah, so it looks like that's more or less resolved. I will be getting like an email from my bank saying like, "Hey, we got you." I was like, "Yeah, no, I get it." It is shitty because I did just buy the computer just to play Fall Guys with you.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was the
plan. That was like the
tipping point.
That was like, exactly it.
Hey, we need to get a gaming PC so we can play games with our boys. And then it was like Fall Guys is coming out, and you were like, "All right, that's the one."
Exactly. It. That was the excuse. So.
Well, now you have to get a PC again because Goose Game, the Untitled Goose Game, you remember that shit? Mm-hmm. They announced a 2-player mode today. They're going to put it out for free, so we get to Lake in the Rake Part 2, baby.
I thought that was on
Rake in the Lake.
On Switch, though, wasn't it?
It's on anything you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, things look better. Things are resolved, more or less. I'm happy. I'm no longer upset. I still have the pre-owned. Ordered the pre-order for Fall Guys, but I can't use it yet.
Fine.
So.
It's fine because when you do eventually wind up getting the computer, it just means that, hey, now you got it.
It'll be problem. There. But because of all that, we kind of just broke down and said, you said, hey, let's just play Fall Guys on PlayStation 4, which I was like, yeah, it was free to own anyways because of the PlayStation Network thing, right?
Mm-hmm. PlayStation Plus gave it away for free,
which is cool. I was like, I mean, even it's like $20. It's absolutely worth it. It's a really fun game.
We've had so much fun with our friends.
I have not gotten that elusive W, for myself personally.
That win. Yeah.
But I'm trying.
Everyone calls it a W or a dub or whatever. I'm like, it's just winning.
That W, bro. That dub. That win.
Got that dub. That crown. That's what it's really about. That
chicken dinner. That victory royale.
Anyone who doesn't know what Fall Guys is, it is a 60-person kind of obstacle course style game with elimination rounds as well. Eventually people get fully eliminated until there is a race or a survival competition or some kind of a thing between up like 20 maximum or like down to 2 people.
Imagine
you
it.
Do that final round and then you're done.
Imagine it kind of being like Wipeout or like MXC for people who are older who know what that is. It's a lot of fun.
It's so goofy.
I'd been watching a bunch of like people, stream it on like Facebook and stuff. That, and most of those people are usually like streaming like Modern Warfare or whatever, or like just shit like that. And to see them play Fall Guys and just like lose their shit, like, oh my fucking god! And it's like, dude, this is so funny.
It's really fun. There are lots of good memes that are coming out. The Fall Guys Twitter is blowing up. They're hella fun to watch and check out. Currently, the 2 great things from the Twitter are there is a bidding war between anybody that's out there. It's a 2-week long bidding competition to get a costume in the game, and all the proceeds go to charity, like a specific charity. Don't remember which one. And it's been going on. It started out with just like, oh yeah, we'll bid $1,000, and then it went up to 45,000 from a bidet company, Tushy. And theirs was just a shirt that says "Ask me about my butthole." They're like,
saw that.
Please,
that was
so somebody pass them up, and it kept going. And now, I think it's at 300,000, and it's Mr. Beast that did that. Ninja did 200,000. Mr. Beast is at 300, and now there's this other company that's like hitting up Ninja, and they're like, "Hey man, if we paid this much and you paid this much, we could do $420,000 and 420,069 cents or something like that." I don't remember.
So 420,69.
Like stupid. Yeah, exactly. Just like a stupid ass amount. And they're being legit about it too. They put a really high bid, so they might do that. Anyways, that's fun to watch. But even better than that, I think it's Tim the Tap Man or something.
Yeah, Tim
like
the Tap
that.
Man. Yeah, he's
You
another.
paying attention to that?
No, he's another Modern Warfare player that I think also seen him play. He likes to freak out a lot playing Fall Guys.
Yeah, well, he has never won, and he's been playing like nonstop. And the Fall Guys Twitter has been roasting him all the time. They're like, "You get that win yet, dude?" And like over and over, like, "Oh man, he just said he's gonna get that win." And then 14 hours goes by. They're like, "Looks like he didn't get that win today, huh?"
That's brutal.
It's pretty fucking funny. They post like a picture of 2 folders on their desktop. One that says memes if he wins, and it's completely empty. The other one is memes if he keeps like losing. It's full as fuck. I love it. So they're just roasting him. It's a really fun, lighthearted Twitter. I recommend people go and follow it just for like the dumb memes and the creepy pictures that people are sending, and it's great. It's a super fun Twitter to follow.
Yeah.
Anyways, we've been having fun as friends.
The game's a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't care all that much about winning yet. Like it's not like I don't feel like, what's the word, like I'm not like the game is less because I haven't won. It's a competitive game. But you get upset for a second and then you kind of let it go.
Yeah, it's really interesting because you're like super invested and you're like, I'm gonna fucking win this. I got this. And as soon as you're eliminated, you're like, fuck. All right, time to root on my friends.
Whatever. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah,
let's see what happens. But yeah, it is just a really good time to hang out with you and some of the other boys who I haven't been able to see in a while, and just kind of like shoot the shit, and joke and stuff. So yeah, that's the most fun part is just hanging out with you guys and having a good time.
Absolutely.
It is also really fun to see Eliza do the dumbest shit ever because she's so frustrated, and we're like, what an idiot. She's like, I have to jump on the seesaw. I was like, Eliza, it's at 90 degrees. Like, I gotta do it. I'm gonna lose.
I have to.
It's fun though.
It's fun as fuck watching your homies, because like watching people do well, watching people do poorly, you cheer them on regardless. Mm-hmm. So it's just a great time.
If people are curious, Trip is actually very good at the game. He's got a lot of wins racked up.
Juan keeps saying I'm buying speed boosts.
Dude, he's fucking hacking, bro. He's a hacker. He's buying speed boosts. I mean, how else do you explain it? How is it's fucking pay to win, bro. He's buying the position in the very front. He gets to pick where he wants to fucking play at. It's bullshit. It's fucking horseshit.
You remember back in the day where I was like, hey, check out this Mario game, and I made you play Kaizo Mario and check that out for a minute?
Oh yeah, it was really hard.
Yeah, the insanely hard, like made as a joke kind of Mario game. that kind of shit's my shit. Like,
Yeah.
I've been doing platform games forever. Banjo-Kazooie, I learned all kinds of like tricks for that as a kid, how to get around super fast. And then from there, like, you go into just a bunch of other 3D kind of platformer games. All of that accumulative knowledge has made me surprisingly good at Fall Guys,
Yes.
but only on the PlayStation.
Are you not good at PC?
Because on PlayStation, for whatever reason, people are pretty peaceful. People don't like push and shove you as much as they do on PC. PC, it's like, all right, go. And I'm like, why did 5 people grab me in the first like 10 seconds of this match? What's happening? Everyone's pushing you nonstop. It's just really aggressive.
Yeah,
and I'm more of a chill boy.
Trip is a very passive player, but yes, the fucking all the games Trip's played since his childhood has made him the amazing Fall Guy player he is right now. If there were rankings, I shit you not, Trip would probably be ranked in at least the top 100. Not number 1, but he's in the top 100.
I would not. I would doubt that.
Well, yeah, obviously you wouldn't be there because they'd know you're hacking and using speed boosts.
Exactly.
Okay, because you're a fucking cheater. I do like seeing you. What I would do is I would stop watching you play sometimes, and you just be like freaking out, like, "Oh shit! Oh my god! You see that?" I'm like, "No, Trip. I stopped watching because it's not fun anymore. Because you're doing so good."
But the things I would freak out about are like insane shit.
And you're like, "Are you guys watching this?" Like, nope, don't fucking care. I'm scrolling fucking Instagram. And I love when you would like fail on like a thing, and you're like, "Oh, he's human. He can bleed, bro. He's not."
Absolutely.
It's a lot of fun though.
Every once in a while, it's just like, oh, yep, made that turn wrong, and you just like immediately know it. And like, yeah, I'm out.
And we're all just like, what an idiot! Trip's so fucking dumb. He didn't even jump at the right spot.
Tom made us all lose our minds in this level where it's called Hoopsie Daisy. The whole point of it is there are these hoops that fall down from the sky, and they hover there, and you need to jump through the hoops, and it's a team game. So you just try to do the best you can individually and hope that it works out for your team. There is a very clear, like, you can't jump as high as your character is, like as tall as your character is or whatever, right? Tom's trying to fucking jump up into this hoop that's over his head, and he keeps just donking his head on it. We're like, Tom, you can't do that. And he did it for a full goddamn minute. And then he goes around, and suddenly he like, after that minute wasting all this time and just being an idiot, making all of us like cry laughing, he winds up getting enough points for his team to still qualify, despite him being totally useless. Like,
yeah, man, Tom's too.
It was insane. Ugh, lost my mind watching that. It was so stupid.
It's a real fun game to play with friends, and I recommend it to anybody, whether that's PC or PlayStation. Just go out and get it. It's a good time. Don't take it too serious. Don't be out here breaking shit if you fucking don't get your dub. Lastly, the last piece of news I want to talk about was I recently broke a crown. Okay, in one of my back molars.
Yes. Your teeth.
Yes. It's a bummer because like I've had this crown for a while now, and I've got it replaced twice, and the first time it didn't take, so I had to get another one. Like it didn't fit right. Like the person didn't do it right. So the second one is better, and I probably had it for like 6 years. But the other day I was eating a McFlurry, and all of a sudden I felt something like it felt like it was the shell of like an M&M.
M&M, yeah.
And I'm trying to bite it.
I'm sitting here, McFlurry just he goes, no.
And Oreo, bro, got them both. Game
Big
changer.
Moves.
Yeah, maybe that's why my fucking crown couldn't take the power. I was like. But I was like trying to bite the thing. I was like, this isn't breaking. I was like, what is this? And I spit it out. I was like, fuck, that's a piece of like my tooth. And I was like, luckily it was the crown. So it's like, oh, well, it's not like really my tooth. It's my fake tooth. So I have to get it replaced because I can't stop touching it with my tongue. It's sharp in there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You're just like, fuck, that hurts. Yeah. So I was able to make an appointment with the dentist and stuff. And I was talking to Sierra, and this is something I've always wanted. I've always wanted a golden tooth. I've just like, that's something that like, I think it was instilled on me.
If anyone were to look at Juan's art, they would immediately know. Like, all right, things Juan wants: gold tooth, a big old X belly button.
Oh, dude, I love X belly buttons. I love me some gold teeth. Gold teeth are so cool. Not like grills or anything.
No, think just like a tooth.
Yeah, when I was really young, I remember very vividly going to church and like we're hanging out and there's a guy there and his tooth was silver. It wasn't gold, but the light came in just right from the window and it was like reflecting and gleaming. And I remember being like in awe. I was like, oh my God. And I talked to my brother about it and he's like, yo, bro, Marco Saligan's fucking tooth, sick as fuck. So it's always just been like in my head that I've always wanted to win. And I remember telling Sierra about it like in a relationship and she's just like, no, that's dumb. And I was like, yeah, no, I get having like one of my front teeth be gold be a bad idea. That's not very presentable. But this is one of my back molars. You can't really see it. I don't smile with teeth anyways. I'm not a big fan of it.
How do you smile? This is great audio. This is perfect.
I just kind of smirk with my mouth closed. Yeah. I'm just not a fan of smiling with teeth. I just never have been. So I was like, you know what, Sierra? Like I was telling her, like kind of joking, like, I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna see if they can get a new crown and it be gold. And she didn't say no. She said, do whatever you want. And I was like, that's it. That's all I need to hear. So on the 31st, I'm gonna go see my new dentist for my consultation, and I'm gonna let him know, like, hey man, I want a golden crown. I want the goldest crown you got.
Meanwhile, Sierra's like, hey, my husband's going to ask you for a gold crown.
Tell him you're out of gold.
Please say that we don't do that anymore.
You know? No, they still do. And actually, I was looking because I was doing research to look into it. Most golden teeth are like ones they're not pure gold because pure gold is too soft. They have to mix it with other metals, most commonly like nickel or whatever. And the reason people don't get gold tooth, the biggest like con for getting it as opposed to the pro would be because it doesn't look like a real tooth. I was like, yeah, I understand that. Absolutely. But they do say that because it's made out of metal, they do last longer and they're really good for your back molars. So like if you need to get them replaced, I was like, well, that's enough reason for me, to say, and they're actually a little bit less expensive than the other ones because the other ones are made out of, I think, some sort of like porcelain or whatever, but they're made to look like teeth, right? So it costs more money to make them look like that. So yeah, I'm, as dumb as it sounds, like I'm super hyped to maybe have a golden crown in my mouth pretty soon.
What tooth is it? 35? Is it 35?
I don't know. I know they have numbers, but it's my top right back molar, like second back molar.
Oh, if it's one of your tops, there's like nobody's gonna see that,
bro. No one's gonna see it. No. I'm gonna know. It's gonna be my little secret.
Yeah.
And yours, I'll tell you.
Reject about that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be like, hey man, can I go look at that tooth? And you're just gonna be like pulling your fucking lips back. Yeah.
Oh, it's like, what if it's just like, all right, guys, time for family photos? I'm just like, pulling my lip out like fucking Amine from Limbo, and they're just like, Juan, could you know? I was like, I have a gold tooth. I'm gonna represent.
Have to.
So yeah,
you don't understand. I paid a lot of money, a little bit less than a regular tooth,
but still a lot of money.
Still,
yeah. So it's just something I'm looking forward to, and I feel like it's good to look forward to dumb things sometimes. So that is, I will keep you posted on when, if and when I get this tooth, because I mean, you could be right. The dentist that I go to could be like, actually, we don't do that, right? And I'd be like,
yeah. I mean,
I'm not going to be like, well, I'm going to go to a different dentist. Like, well, you are my dentist now because I had to change dentists. And he's like, you do take my insurance, so just fix this for me. I'm not going to be like, well, I'm going to have to find a new doctor.
That'd be really funny if you did take that stance, though. I would not support it at all.
No, I would.
But I 100% support you right now.
Yeah, no,
just so you know that.
Yeah, I thank you, man. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I don't think I'm that dumb of a person to be like, no, fuck you. I'm gonna go find another dentist that will do what I want, because I'm like, I'd rather just not have this sharp piece of tooth in my mouth anymore and just like have it be fixed. And then if I don't get a gold tooth now, when I get really old and end up getting with a bunch of veneers, I'll just make them all gold or diamond. Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Anyways, man,
nice.
That's what's up with me. Fall Guys, I guess, computer stuff, work, and teeth. Yeah. What about you, man?
Talked to my mom a bit this week. One of them was when we were playing Fall Guys.
That was really
She hits me up, and I'm like, what's my mom calling about right now? All right, hang on, guys. I'm still playing. You could keep watching me or whatever, but I got to talk to my mom. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I had to call you because I did something really stupid. And I'm like, what'd you do? She's like, well, we've been getting really into hot sauce lately. I'm like, she ate a really hot sauce. She might have done like the hot wings challenge. She got really into hot ones. Mm-hmm. So I don't really know. She's like, the store was selling packets of scorpion peppers, and I'm like, wait, packets of scorpion peppers? What the fuck? She's like, we've been making our own sauces, and I'm like, oh fuck.
She lives in Zona now, so like everything's hot out there. Zona.
True. She apparently was going to use it in a sauce. She bought a pack of them and tried it. She tried a little tiny piece, put it on her tongue, chewed it a little bit. It was like, oh my God, this is too hot. Spit it out. Couldn't even swallow it. Just had a super hard time. Yeah. She was just like dying from it. So she wanted to call me and let me know that she made that dumb decision. And I thought that was pretty fun. I'm like, damn, Mom, way to go. Pretty bold.
Look at you living your life.
You. But then a couple nights ago, we were chatting. Don't know how it came up, but I think it's important for you to know this as well. We got into a conversation about like, yeah, you know, like shit sucks in the world right now. Shit's just bad, whatever. And I was like, but you know, like if I die, I die. There's not really anything that I could do about it. You just die. That sucks. I want to live a while. But you know, if I die, I die. She's like, that makes me sad to hear. I'm like, what? I don't have control over it. If I die, I'm dead, dude. She's like, yeah, well, I feel the same way, but like, come on, man.
It's like,
I'm your mom.
It's not my choice. Like, I'm just saying, right? If I die, I die.
Yeah, I'm like, don't worry. I don't care if I die. If I die.
Yeah. I would not. That's a great conversation to have with your mom. I'm like, no, Mom, you don't get it. I don't want to die. I'm just saying, if I die, then I die.
Yeah. And I'm like, no big deal.
What's the confusion?
She's like, well, it would be really sad. And I'm like, yeah, it would. It's not like I want you to die. It's not like I want my friends to die. But if they died, they die.
They die.
People have to die at some point.
People die.
It sucks. It's sad.
This episode got very dark. I guess we are talking about Death Note, so it's appropriate.
But yeah, I'm talking to my mom about all that shit. She's like, well, you know, me too, man. I'm like, okay. She's like, I guess it's good for me to know that. Yeah, so I don't, and I'm like, yeah. But then she was just like, I'm just worried when you're saying that. I'm like, yeah, I get that. But like, there's a pandemic going on and I work with idiots and I work with the public who are also idiots, and we have to go into people's unclean apartments and assess the cleanliness. So our cleaners are risking themselves and we have to interact with the cleaners, and I'm in the apartment and I'm assessing the cleaning before it gets touched or anything. Like, I'm constantly exposed. So it's not like this is something that I'm not thinking about. Like, come on, bro. We're in a pandemic. Shit's wild.
I get it, man. If you die, you die.
If you die, you die. But since we're talking about work now, 2 pizza-related work things. Our company has like, I don't know, we do like advertising for Comcast. It's not like you have any internet choices out here anyways. It's like AT&T or Comcast, and that's it. So whatever. Our company had been approached from Comcast, and they're like, yeah, we'll do promotional events and stuff, and we'll give your residents free pizza, and we'll give them deals on things. And we're like, all right, cool, sounds good. We'll advertise, we'll promote you guys, whatever. But the guy who originally started all of that, he moved to Sacramento.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah, he died. He moved to Sacramento, and it's been a year and a half, maybe a little bit more, I don't know. And he's back. So he is back in town, and he came into our office and was like, hey, wanted to drop off some sanitizer for you guys. By the way, once things start calming down, we are probably going to do more events, but we are working on doing some like COVID-friendly pizza giveaway events. And we're like, oh, that's tight. And he's like, and honestly, like, we are kind of struggling using up our full budget. We might just call you and say, hey, we're going to send your office some pizza just for you guys to have.
Wow.
I'm like,
that's nice.
Oh, that's fucking legit. And then Woodstock's a local pizza place. They are advertising pretty hard because like all students are coming back and whatnot. So they came by our office and dropped off a bunch of coupons and flyers, and they said, yeah, you know, if things are working out pretty good and a lot of people are referred over, we're just gonna send you guys pizza sometimes, keep this relationship going. And we're like, dude, this is fucking legit. What's up with all this pizza? I'm into it. Let's do it.
Fuck, dude, I wish Woodstock would send me pizza. The fuck?
Right? And when back in the day, when insurance companies would come by, we had a particular guy from like State Farm that would bring us coffee. Yeah.
Okay.
Coffee boy.
That's your
essentially
question.
it. I'm not in good hands. I got coffee though. It's pretty good.
I do have a question. I want to ask the question before we get too far away from the if you die, we die conversation. If you die, hold on. If I die, do you continue the podcast?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Okay, I was just curious.
No, we haven't. I don't think I would. I would be like, hey guys, super sad ending. Juan's dead. Peace. That's the end.
Would that be your last episode? You're like, hey, welcome to the Insert Vomit Podcast. I'm your host.
I mean, we'd have to put it out there somehow. We would be yo, today we're watching She and Her Cat. Juan's dead. So
okay, I would. Okay, so
what's the anime I should review when you die? My final.
The Swan Song. You're lying, April. You have to watch all of it. I know how much you don't like it.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We'll do that.
I will say though, if you die, I will take. I feel like realistically, if you did die, and I can get my hands on the recording equipment that's at your house, right? Like the microphone and stuff. Like if no one fights me over it, unless you left it in your will.
Which I don't have a living will at the moment, just so you know.
But you should have one, just in case you die.
Do you have one?
No, because I'm not going to die. What are you talking about?
Oh, fuck.
But my thing is, like, if say you were to die, heaven forbid, I would take a break. There would be I don't know, maybe a month of nothing. And then one or two options. The first option, probably the most realistic option, is that I would have Sierra be the new host and the thing would continue. Or two, because, she already hangs out with me anyways and she doesn't anyways. Or two, I would have a nationwide hunt to find the new co-host of the Instagram podcast.
God, that's what you would do? That's what you're over there thinking about?
Yeah. But that's only if you die.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. It's probably the first option. But, I don't want to paint myself into that corner. I want to give us... No. Okay. Anyways, back to you.
Back to me. Pizzas... That's what death,
coffee.
Pizzas. Okay, coffee, yes. Anyways, the things that I've been up to are all just like video games and anime. You know how it goes. Finished Ghost of Tsushima with Kyle. It was really fun. I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup and like get all the hidden items that we didn't get, which is just like decorative clothing stuff, some extra little crickets that eventually unlock a song you could play on your flute that's just for fun, some banners that unlock a saddle for your horse, stuff that like doesn't matter.
Are you gonna does that mean you're gonna like 100% it or just kind of okay? I actually
super fun game.
Before you get too far in your video games, I played video games too besides Fall Guys.
Oh, did you?
I got this. It's a free game on Switch. It's like Kirby Clash or something like that. And like it's 4 different Kirbys and they fight bosses and it's like you get, what do they call it? It's like it's in-app purchase or whatever. The game's free, but you can buy more apples to do more of this kind of stuff. But it's a lot of fun. It's pretty cute. Like I turn it on, I like smash on some, fucking big dinguses with my swords. And then it's just like, cool. I run out of whatever they call it, vigor, whatever, like my credits to play. Like, a mission will take 5 vigor or whatever. And like, I'll use my vigor. It maybe takes like 20, 30 minutes. And it goes, okay, cool. And I just kind of put it down and stuff. But
I'm not the kind of person that can deal with that mechanic, that mobile phone mechanic.
And I am, because I'm for sure bred for that. We've talked about this in the past, that like I play a lot of mobile games, and I'll play them for a while and then just kind of like, cool, delete them. So I am used to the whole like, oh, it's cool down now. Okay, I can come back in an hour and I'll have it all back up. I think the game would be a lot of fun if that didn't exist, because there's there's a multiplayer thing where like someone else could play online with me and play, like, because there's a swordman Kirby, the hammer Kirby, they call it Dr. Kirby, and like a wizard Kirby, and you can like all play different characters and fight the monster together. But because of the whole like mechanic of you having to have like these hearts or these credits to play, it does trick you into buying the credits to play the thing with your friends. So it's like, oh, I get what you're doing here. I'm having a good time just because it's just me and I play for like 20, 30 minutes. But yeah. I'm also a gamer, bro.
Yeah, you are. You're a fucking big gamer. Look at you, baby.
Big game.
So yeah, play a little bit of that. Finish that up. Gonna do some wrap up solo. And then I've been watching more Legend of Korra. Went back at that. Let me just tell you, man, I was really, really doubting myself. I was thinking, because I'm like, yeah, I remember enjoying season 1 of Legend of Korra, but like it took me a little bit to get into it at first when I first watched it, and then I hated the conclusion, so I didn't even bother with season 2. And then when I went and rewatched it after I heard season 3 and 4 are incredible, I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do this. Like as soon as season 4 was airing, so I was able to wait and like actually watch it when it ended. They did a great job with season 3. In my head, I was like, this is better than all of The Last Airbender, in my opinion. The build up for this really paid off. I really had a good time with it. And then season 4 was a pretty solid conclusion, but it wasn't as good as the third season. And now rewatching it with Kate, season 1, I was like, yeah, I've already seen this, you know, whatever. I don't really care. It's fine. It's good. It's got like the start of the characters. It's setting up the world a little bit, but nothing feels like it's really set in stone. The project wasn't like, they didn't have all the seasons at once. They were just like, yeah, season 1, let's do it. We're okayed for that. And then near the end of that, the
show oddly felt fleshed out at the same time, not at all, right? Like by the end of it, you're like, why is there so much detail to everything? And then everything is kind of poofs in the last 20 minutes.
Because we were just in this tiny city, and when I say tiny city, I mean we didn't go anywhere. There was no travel in the first season. It all took place in the same area. So it felt smaller, but it also felt like they really did build this giant world. And in season 2, you get to travel very far, and it's starting to deal with spirits, and you're like, okay, cool. This is some newer kind of Avatar stuff. But then they messed up the writing. Like they just straight up messed up characters and writing, and they like introduced a lot of good characters, and they introduced good story arcs for like the characters later on. But while it's all happening, the comedy isn't landing. The action sequences are just like, why is this happening? The overall story, the way that things were happening, didn't feel good. It was kind of a bad time.
Yeah, just felt like a dud. Yeah,
it felt unnecessary. Other than we got backstory of the original Avatar, which is cool. Tight.
Yeah,
and then we got to see some cool spirit bending stuff, which is cool addition to the world. And then finally, it set us up for an interesting world for season 3, an interesting kind of new story to launch off of. Season 3 is so fucking good. I could not remember. I just like started watching. I'm like, I know the villains are awesome. I remember a lot of what happens. I remember the overall story. I remember what's going on. But I just didn't remember why it was good. I remembered liking things, and as I'm watching, I'm like, oh, it's because they actually have a cohesive story that goes from one episode to another consistently. It all flows into each other, just like it kind of did before, but this feels even more like, hey, this thing just happened, it ends, and we're still at that thing that just happened, and we keep going. They treated the characters a lot better. They were more mature about them. They got rid of the shitty love triangle thing, so the relationships weren't a focus. They bring it up. They bring up a lot of things that there were issues that people had with them, like Bolin being Nuktuk, a famous like actor in Movers.
Hero of the South. Yeah.
And they've brought that up, but it's not like a focal point. It's not something that's going to last forever. That's not what he's going to be known for. And it's just such a good show. They really, really worked on those characters and made them who they were in season 3 with a really interesting story, a great villain that has this like really morally gray area to start, and then it goes to a more extreme area right away. But it's fantastic. Everything that they do is so good in season 3. Watch Legend of Korra. It's out on Netflix. You will not be disappointed. But when you're watching it, watch season 2 in a day. Otherwise, you can't get through it. You got to just power it through.
Well, yeah, no, I think when you mentioned how much you were enjoying season 3, I was like, yeah, because I feel like it is a very similar experience where like I really enjoyed 1. I was like, oh, cool, more Avatar. And then like he's kind of disappointed with the ending. Watch season 2, I was like, ugh. And then 3 and 4 came out. And the thing is, I remember the whole stuff for season 3 being the last season, because I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
It was so good. I was like, I don't even remember what happens in the season that's after that, you know? And then you mention it like, oh, it's, you know, Earth stuff. And I go, oh, yeah, that's right. That's also good. But not as good as season 3. Like, season 3 is for sure way better, yeah.
And honestly, yeah, season 4 had a lot of really good stuff. It, of course, ends in a great way. I loved the ending of season 4.
Me too.
But the way that they treat Korra as a main character is so good. Just like, essentially, the difference between the two shows are Aang is this great person who is forced to be an avatar, and he has to find his place as the avatar and learn how to be that. Korra is the avatar. She knows how to be the avatar. She knows what her role is in this world, but that's all she is. She's not working on herself as a person, and it's her being an avatar, learning how to be a person.
Yeah.
So by season 3, where we get her like a lot more grounded and down to earth and realizing like the place that she has in this world is a lot more difficult. She kind of needs to get away and focus more on herself. By the end of the 3rd season, we get a lot of the stuff that I think season 1 wanted to do leading up to season 2, without spoilers for anyone. Like the big moment at the end of season 1 could have led into a very interesting season 2, but they had to wrap it up cleanly because they thought maybe the show wouldn't go on.
Cleanly.
Right?
I love, they had to wrap it up.
Yeah,
because at that point they didn't know they were going to get more seasons. They're just like, we got okayed for this one season, and they just kind of did it. And then by the time they were done with it, they're like, oh, we're getting more seasons. It's a little too late to try to fix this ending or whatever. So I get what you're saying.
I'm just so relieved that season 3 is
as good as you remember.
As good or better than I remember.
That's good. I'm glad you're enjoying that. And you're watching it with Kate still?
Mm-hmm.
What a nerd.
What a nerd.
Kate never saw it. Ha. I'm actually envious. I wish I could rewatch it all and not have seen it.
Dude, yeah. Season 3 is just, oof.
But yeah, in Avatar news, the fucking original creators backed out from working with the Netflix live action show, right? They're doing it.
Yeah. They were told they would have like full creative control and be able to do what they want to do. And then Netflix kept shutting down what they wanted. And that's all that we know for sure.
Yeah.
There are people that are saying rumors out there and saying that they were whitewashing all the characters and that they didn't want to hire any people of color to be the actors that would fit those roles perfectly. Anyways,
well, I mean, have you seen the fucking live action Death Note movie on Netflix?
It's fucking horrible. Yeah, I sure have. Anyways, I'm bummed that the live action project no longer has them involved, because that's what was holding me to it.
That's what really pumped me up about it too, because like if they're the guys that made it and they were promised this, you know, this ability to make their adapt it, not, you know, rewrite it or reboot it or whatever. It was an adaptation of the show, and they wanted to be as true as possible. And then come to find out that, you know, they didn't have as much control as they wanted, and Netflix was,
they were promised. And
Netflix wasn't really, you know, being true to what they had said. So it's like, cool. They said they would rather not be involved with it than you know, to have something like that come out. Like, it's like, hey, they still hope it comes out and it's great, but because they just can't, you know, work their differences out or whatever, or agree to, you know, to do certain things, they're just like, we just rather just step away. And I was like, I feel like I really respect them for that, because like they're true to their shit. They're not just trying like to sell out or anything, because they obviously really love the story and the world that they created. So like, they're not in it for the paycheck. They just want the thing to be as true as it can be. And if it is, you know, them not hiring people of color, that sucks ass. You know, like, fuck, why is it? I don't so think fucking it is hard. It must be a bunch of things, honestly. It can't just be one thing. It must be like,
no, it's clearly that they didn't have enough creative control.
Yeah.
And whatever that entails is what the issue was. It could be all the things that are rumored, but I kind of don't feel like we should go into that. But
yeah.
Anyways, I found my new favorite American television show.
Is it Family Matters from 1989 to 1997?
Kind of close.
Okay.
It's Lovecraft Country.
Oh,
and the reason I say it's kind of close is because it takes place sometime after World War II. There's still a lot of deep-seated racism in the United States, and it follows this not. I guess it follows this black family, but it's this guy with his older uncle and this girl that he went to school with when he was a kid. Anyways, they go on this little adventure. They're trying to find this dude's dad. And they have to deal with all these super racist people, get in some dangerous situations. They're being shot at by the police and stuff like that, where it's just for going to a diner that used to be for like people of color. But then it's changed owners and they found out, oh shit, actually this place was burnt down. And they burnt down the whole place with the lady in it and killed her. So then they get chased down. There's a whole chase scene. And then it gets a little bit not super realistic. It gets a little bit psychic. And then we get some monsters in a little bit. So it's this really cool, very authentic period piece about the racism in the South of the United States during this time. Yeah. Mixed with there's some weird shit going on, boys, and it's on HBO. I highly recommend it. Only one episode's out, but I know you gotta get HBO, man. They got good shit on there. Avenue 5, Lovecraft Country. I might have to
finally get HBO, because HBO also does Hard Knocks, which is the NFL like preseason mini documentary series they do before every NFL season. And for the first time ever, they're doing the football team that I like, which is the Los Angeles Chargers. They're actually doing both LA teams, so the Los Angeles Rams and the Los Angeles Chargers. So they're like following them around during training camp, and like they're going to do cuts before the actual season. And it's interesting because they're doing all this during COVID, so it's like it'd be a really cool insight on like how they're handling all this stuff. So I really do want to watch it, but it's on HBO, so I'm like, fuck, I might have to get it.
You gotta buckle down and
get
yourself a little bit of HBO.
But this Lovecraft Country, I think because I looked into it recently, but it looks like it's done by the Monkey Paw Productions, which is Jordan Peele's stuff, and Bad Robot, which is J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, it's being produced by them, which doesn't necessarily mean much other than it's funded by them, and they get a little bit of say,
which is cool because I like both of those guys.
Yeah, that's why I was like, well, it could be good. They might have some role in it. And then watching it, I'm like, okay, if it's just about like racism during this time, they're doing an awesome job. I really want to know about these characters. I want to know more about this world. The uncle writes reviews for safe places to visit and travel for Black people. And I thought that was super cool. They have like safe travel guides and whatnot to tell you, oh, you could go through these towns. You want to take these routes to make sure that you're all safe and don't have to worry about that. And it's really cool to see that piece of American history represented in such like an honest and an authentic way, I think.
And just to be clear, the Lovecraft Country bit, it's like H.P. Lovecraft, right? The whole like
H.P. Lovecraft, yeah.
The scary, spooky stuff,
super
right?
racist, yeah.
Insanely racist. I didn't know he was super racist.
Oh, he's such a bigot, but towards like everyone. He hates everyone, and he says that they're the reasons demons exist in this world and stuff like that. He's just a big old xenophobe freak. So he has written some very racist things. And our character, he goes to his uncle's place, and he pulls out a Lovecraft book. His uncle's like, yeah, I thought I was the only person that liked horror stuff. And he's like, you ever heard of this poem? And he's like, yep, that's super racist. He did write that. He's like, yep, my dad made me memorize that when I was a kid because super racist. He should know it's super racist and should know to avoid that author, all that. He's like, yep, my dad taught me that when I was trying to read this book, and he wanted to make sure that I understood that the author was not worth reading because he was so racist. And then the whole thing winds up being about Lovecraft shit. And I am so into it because I was like, maybe it's some tongue-in-cheek stuff. I don't know. And it really it handled it so well. It's fun.
I think that's great. It's like the perfect, cause it's like a really good fuck you, right? So it's like,
yeah,
hey man, because he did do a lot for that whole genre of like horror, right?
Oh yeah,
he did. Pretty good for him.
Yeah,
but he was like a bad racist dude, so fuck him. And he would hate the idea that this show exists nowadays, so he can just eat it.
That's cool. Why I was like, all right, I could get down with that. Whatever. I love me some Lovecraft because cosmic horror is hella fun to me.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's fantastic. I can't wait to talk to you about it whenever you get HBO.
Fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cancel another service. Maybe something that's not even worth it. Like Funimation. Bum, bum, bum. No,
nah,
probably not.
Man, they
I
got
still need
Wacky
it.
Races. You really like that.
I still need that show. Fuck. I'll figure it out. I'll make the money come up somehow. I'll start selling my blood.
I'm going to say that's all the fun stuff for me to tell you about, which is, just Legend of Korra mostly. But
yeah. Do you got you want to talk about animes we've been watching or what?
Sure, man. Watched a little bit more Trigun while I was playing Fall Guys. Just chill background time. Solid.
Dope.
Let's see. Lapis Relights, which is the witches that do
idol stuff, maybe?
Idol stuff, yeah. Essentially, our main characters are... The whole plot of the show is our main characters are not that great. They have bad grades. They are going to get expelled unless they bring up those grades. And now we're at the point where they fucked up so many different things in different ways. It's like kind of like Harry Potter fucking up, where they did some really cool shit, but in order to do that cool shit, they had to get a map from some like instructor, and the instructor wasn't there. So what they did is they took the map and they left a note saying that they took it and are borrowing it and they will bring it back at this time. And then they got deducted points because they didn't get it approved from the director before taking it or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's stuff like that where it's very constantly they get deducted points. It's
like 10 points.
You get points for that, but minus points for these.
Minus 20 points to Gryffindor, shit like that.
Yeah, shit like that. So the only way that they can pass now is to put on a song and dance performance thing, right?
Of course, yeah.
And it turns out that during these performances, they use their magic and whatnot, and the lyrics and the magic in the lyrics will do something to the audience. So there are different reasons to sing, and we learned that one character who is the best at these performances, she wants to do that because her whole town was attacked, and they were not prepared, and they all, terrible things happened. And she wants to make sure that everyone in the audience is safe, so she puts protection spells on them while she's singing. So our main character has a motive too. She wants people to feel happy and feel good because there are a lot of bad things out there that make people upset. And then the better that people feel, the better that the world is going to be. So despite her magic not being something that directly influences them in that way, it will bring everyone positivity, which can then influence a lot more work from them in the world, and like better stuff can happen. So yeah, I don't know. It's fun. This last episode was just fun, and it was the characters realizing, oh yeah, we want to do that. And we got to see another performance, and it's a good time. It's a fun show. Not the best. It's probably my least favorite I'm watching, but it's great. And the Millionaire Detective, Balance Unlimited. We got a whole episode where it was like, oh man, there's something wrong. Why can't we get a hold of these people? And then it turns out there's this weird cult and they're doing some extra stuff. A dude kills himself by jumping off of a building. And then they find out he has this little star thing. And they unlock this secret room and find like this bomb was planted there. This like gas bomb was planted there. A whole bunch of stuff is happening. It's fun. It's a procedural detective drama type show. But it's also pretty lighthearted and fun with some cool characters. And it's just sweet. I really like it. It's great. The intro and outro absolutely fucking jam too. So that's a great time. Appare Ranman, they are now racing. Mm-hmm. And we had theories about the 1003.
We called it, bro.
Did we call it?
I did, bro. I told you that guy was fake. He was faking it, bro. He was not.
He wasn't Gil.
Gil the something.
Gil the Butcher.
Gil the Butcher, yeah. I was like, that ain't him, bro. That ain't him. Instead, there was like two brothers who were just like, we're just fucking assholes that like wanted to win the race, so we pretended to be him. Sorry. And I was like, yeah, but I fucking knew though.
Yeah. But that just like reinforced our whole thing. Like, hey man, TJ's probably not like, he doesn't fuck with Gil the Butcher or anything like that. Like they're not actually part of the 1003. So yeah, we were watching it and we're like, all right, so we were right. Like there was some shit going on, but we didn't know what kind of shit. And then we find out like they're still packing a lot of heat for being like good dudes. They have some big fucking guns.
Yeah. No, it was just a good episode. We got to see like, the whole them blowing up the entrance to the Death Valley being thwarted and stuff, and our main character again learning to be a better person and being like, all right, instead of me trying to win, I'm gonna
Here's
help.
the thing, man. When I first started the show, I was like, fuck this clown motherfucker. I don't think I'm gonna be into this show. And then like by the end of the first episode, I was like, all right, I could be into this show.
Yeah.
I could be really into this show.
It looks like he can grow. I really like the bit where they're like, they're camping for the night, and it's like, well, I'm going to be making food. And someone's like, I'm going to go hunt trapping. I'm going to go fishing. I'm going to make a fire. And he's just like, why don't you go help him? And he just fucks up everything. He uses a potato for bait. He gets caught in his own snare trap. He can't light a fire. And the girl's like, you want to work on my car? And he's just like, please. I
love
like,
it.
that's pretty good.
And there's a point where they're racing, and then he just sees all these numbers, and he like is able to avoid this giant. Yeah, he's able to avoid all these rocks that are falling on them, and do the perfect path to safety. I'm like, that's what I do when I play Fall Guys.
Oh my god! I also
when I'm on Hexagon, it's just like, oh, okay, here we go.
I also really like the bit where Dylan and Crazy TJ or whatever are like driving side by side, and he's just like,
oh yeah,
and he's just like, TJ's like a horrible singer, and Dylan's like, could you shut the fuck up? Like, if we're gonna be driving here, could you just like stop? But they both
have their windows down too,
yeah.
So they're just like vibing.
He's just like, man, sometimes you don't get the lyrics. It's about what the song represents and means. He's just like, yeah, but you're not fucking singing anything. And he just rolls up with his window. He's like, oh, fucking rude. I was like, that was fun. Like, yes, these are the same characters that 2 episodes ago were shooting each other and trying to kill each other with some awesome like John Wick gun fu or whatever. But now they're like driving side by side, and it's like, God, dude, your music sucks ass. Like, no, your music sucks ass. I was like, it's cool. It's like it's still really at times lighthearted, and then we got to see a little bit of like at the very end, like a new villain who has an actual tattoo that's real. And we go, there he is. There's
maybe Hototo is gonna figure out who actually killed his family.
Yeah. But. So I'm still really liking the show, man. I think it's really fun.
Yeah, they're just doing a great job with it. Super solid time. Then is there anything else on Funimation? That might be it.
That's all the Funimation stuff.
I think that's it for me. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Digimon is, still being Digimon. We got to see a couple of sweet Digilutions. I don't remember what they call them. But they Digivolved Greymon into Metal Greymon. And then Garurumon turned into Were-Garurumon. And there was some fun fights. It's a good time. Instead of this series having black gears like the original Digimon Adventures, there is this miasma that's affecting Digimon and turning them evil. So they kind of put a little twist on it. And now we're going to go find Leomon, which is cool. Nice. There's also the Android Mon. I don't remember what his name is, but he's this big, tall, man-looking robot, and he's about.
I'm trying to look it up. I'm like,
I don't remember his name, but yeah, I'm very. It might be like Andromon or something.
Is it Andromon? Maybe
Andromon.
He looks probably. He looks like a Terminator from like the movie Terminator. Yeah,
pretty much. So he's going to be in the next episode. And it's cool.
Or a RoboCop, if you will.
Yeah, he's a very RoboCop looking motherfucker. I like him. So yeah, Digimon's going fine. We got almost the full team together. Matt started talking about TK, which is Takeru in Japanese. So he's going to come around soon. They're looking for the Angel Digimon, which of course is going to be TK's Digimon. So excited to learn about all of that whenever it happens. It's been a fun time. God of High School has been fucking really good. I don't know if you've gotten into the latest episode that came out yesterday.
No, man. The last episode I saw was 6, which is I think last week's episode. 6 is the one where the guy with the big nose and the sunglasses bites the bullet.
He gets got.
Yeah, bro. I was really bummed out when we saw him. Okay, so I did not expect the girl to run into him of all people in the grocery store, and his daughter or his child has like sunglasses too, and I go,
"This is cute as fuck."
I was like, "That's so fucking adorable,
so great."
And he's got a little cane, and she's like, "Are you fucking blind?" He's like, "Yeah, bro, I'm blind as fuck." It's just like, but you announced the fucking fights. He's like, "Yeah, that's how strong I am."
That was fun. I loved that.
I really like that episode. We get to see that. I do think it's kind of a cop out, but I feel like maybe it happened in the manhwa too, where it was just like we decided to change the thing, so it's now you're fighting in teams of 3 instead of just it being you were the one qualifier. And it's like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense as to why your other 2 other main characters, are still going to be in the show, because it'd be fucking dumb if it's like, look at these 3 people. Okay, well, now we're only going to follow one. I was like, and the girl's even upset. She's like, yeah, I'm here by default. It's like, yeah, bitch, yeah, you are, but we need to see it because now we need to fucking see team fights. Okay,
yeah, and I will spoil one thing for you because it's totally worth it. So in that episode, the dude dies, the announcer dies. Mm-hmm. We also get to meet other characters or see them for a moment that are all very powerful. Essentially,
the 6, right?
Yeah, the 6. Each one of them has like some kind of a special power that they're called Charyuks in this universe. It's kind of like Hunter x Hunter has different styles of nen and whatnot.
It's like chakra, bro. I get it.
It's like sure, yeah, whatever. But they have their special powers. So the one that our main dude with the star eyes, what's his name?
Don't know. I can look it up.
It's like, yeah, it's some basic Korean name sounding thing. Anyways, he gets to train with this healer man who does like acupuncture, like pinpoints the different pressure points on your body in order to unlock certain powers or whatever, or to seize up your body, right? So our main character dude gets to learn these powers, and then his first competition, it turns out that even though they're team fights, turns out each team, they have 1v1 with each other.
Okay.
So it's team fights, but it's not all at the same time.
His name is Jin Mori.
Jin Mori, thank you. Yeah. He learns that whole acupuncture pressure point thing, and he goes into battle, and he pressure points himself, but he fucks up, so he's just completely like, I can't move, I can't do anything, and he just gets his ass kicked. It's literally like, whoops, I fucked up, baby, fuck up. And the like trainer's like, man, and his bros are just like, oh well, whatever. It was fucking great. I loved it.
I like what was I gonna say? I like because they were like, at least in the episode I watched, they were interested in like, this is the thief, and this is the this is the healer, and this is the magician, and then like the dude with the horns is like, his name is, he's a 6. He's like, he's the tiger cub. I was like, oh yeah. Shit, bro! Well, like, you're the tiger cub, dude.
Yeah,
like,
he keeps talking
like, about cubs.
These tiger cubs over here. These freaking cubs. And I loved it.
Yeah, I love the fight between Jin and Han, and he's just like, do we got another cub on our hands? Like, do we? Because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right? I'm like, I hope so.
To see his card be like, he's the tiger cub, was like, oh man, I don't know what the fuck that means. But that sounds cool as fuck. Funny.
I'm excited to see what this show is. It's still fun. It's just mostly fun fights with fun characters. I think they're doing a great job. So if you're into like just battle anime, this is what's up. You should go and check it out. Also, the music's pretty fucking, it's good. I enjoy it.
I just like the way it looks a lot, man. It's so cool looking.
The style's really good. It's clean.
It's a good show, man.
It is. We have definitely gotten to the ridiculous point. Like, you start out and you're like, all right, this show's pretty over the top. All right. But now we're at the point where it's just like, oh, so we have like stands now? No, it turns out it's just magic. We just straight up have magic now.
It's like yeah, they're god powers, bro.
Well, we're talking about it and we're like, okay, so what's this chick's deal? Oh, she has like weird, gross, grabby hands. Okay, so she summons all these hands from the ground. And it's like, yeah, that's a cool power. And then she like summons a cross gun, like Nicholas Wolfwood from Trigun. She summons a cross gun and then is ready to shoot it. And then all these little bears pop out of it. And they shoot lasers out of it, like all from the giant cross.
And those lasers have bear faces on them, and they bite you.
Dude, no, it was funny. So stupid.
I was talking to Kyle Partlow because he's caught up with the webtoons or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, man, he's not watching the show because he wants to watch it when it's all done, But he was saying, he's like, it looks like they're really pushing the pace on this. Like, it's really, he said he didn't have a real guess as to where it was going to end for the first season, but he was saying, I wonder if they're going to get to like the weird powers. Oh, they got there. They got there pretty fucking quick, They
did. I mean, that's what I was like when I was first watching, and I'm like, oh man, we breezed through the whole beginning of this. I thought that maybe we'd get to this point, but we already like ended with fights. And it was crazy. Yeah, I really do like the pacing of it, though. It doesn't feel like it's too fast. It feels like it's very appropriate for the characters and the story, and it's not too much at once, I don't think. I'm having a great time.
I'm really enjoying it too, yeah.
And then we got, of course, Rent a Girlfriend. How have you been enjoying that?
Bro, I am down with Rent a Girlfriend. He has been renting that girlfriend, and I'm all about it. In the most recent episode, he goes on a double date with his buddy who has the buck teeth, and his girlfriend, super hot. We finally get introduced to another one of the girls from the intro/outro, and I was like, "Oh, dope! It's the short-haired one. What can happen?" And it's just like a pretty, good date episode or whatever. And he's feeling bad for himself because he's a fucking loser, like always. And then this dude's girlfriend comes up to our Rent a Girlfriend. It's like, "Hey, you're a Rent a Girlfriend, aren't you?" "Yeah." And she's like, no. I was like, "Okay." And then like they start getting like questioned about it, and she's like, "Well, you guys got a kiss," and they're like, "How could she possibly know?" And I'm just like sitting here and be like, "She's a Rent a Girlfriend too, bro. There's no way."
I know, right? We're like, that kid didn't fucking land her. She's for sure a Rent a Girlfriend. She's trying to just figure it out. But I'm also like, she needs to somehow be a little bit more like, "You're a Rent a Girlfriend."
But I was like, Sierra's just like, me and her were talking about it. It's like, because obviously she's a Rent a Girlfriend. There's no way this loser has that girl. No way. And it's just like, but Sierra and I were like, well, why would she call her out? And I was like, my guess is maybe she knows, our girl, the main character girl, like maybe she's seen her on the app and been like, she's like one of the top rated Rent a Girlfriends, and she's kind of jealous about it or something. Maybe she's trying to get her fired or something. There has to be some sort of other motive there. But I'm like 100,000% sure she's also a Rent a Girlfriend, because we're not idiots like the fucking characters in the show. So, but I still really like the show. It's it's good. Yeah,
I'm hoping that the last one is not a rent. Like we
it's
have
just
the
a girl.
four,
Yeah,
right?
it's just a normal.
She's
girl,
just a girl, but maybe she has a Rent a boyfriend. Is kind of what I'm thinking, because she's in all of the shots of her. She's super shy and she's super embarrassed, and she like might not know how to interact with dudes that great. And that's how she does it or whatever. So I don't know. I think that could be a fun little twist, but I'm really curious to see her. And Kyle and I were talking about it like before we got to meet this character, this new one. Like, what do you think that she's going to be like? I'm like, well, the short hair, like blue hair chick, she seems like she might be cool and fun to add into the group, but she also seems like she might be like something else might be going on. I don't know, just based off the intro and outro. The way that her character kind of acts during those. But then that last one is either going to be super annoying because she's just so embarrassed all the time, and she doesn't have like
confidence.
Just not enough personality there beyond that, right? Yeah. And it's going to be like a while to get there. It's going to be like pulling teeth until we get to see what kind of actual character she is. Or she's going to be a really interesting, fun character that gets very shy all the time, and she's gonna have a whole bunch of like fleshed out backstory and stuff. I'm just excited to see what's going on, because the show has been just a lot of fun. Not exactly the highest quality of like plot or anything. Yeah. The characters are all pretty shitty, but like not like they're written poorly, just they're shitty.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
My guess was, seeing again the four girls. We got main girl, who's like, obviously that's end game. That's the one that you want there to end up with. She's the fucking goody two. She's the best one. And we got fucking, what's it, mommy, whatever. She's insane. Like, she's just fucking nuts. So my guess was seeing the other two was like, one of these might be Sundre, which I don't want.
I know. Well, that's what I was thinking. The blue one.
Probably the blue-haired one, especially when they first interacted. I was like, fuck, dude, I am not a big fan of Sundre
character archetypes. Yeah.
I'm just not a real big fan of it, and I was just like, fuck. But I'm thinking maybe she's not. I was thinking maybe she wasn't going to be a Rent a Girlfriend just from the intro and outro. Like, maybe she would be like a classmate or something. But it looks like she's a Rent a Girlfriend. And my guess for like the last one is that she's going to be like a friend of one of the girls, and like maybe try to get into the Rent a Girlfriend game, kind of thing. And I feel like her characterization is just going to be very shy, very quiet, kind of klutz, maybe like not immature, but just not very like wise kind of thing. And just be like, that just seems like her vibe, because she's blushing the whole time. She's not like physically developed like the other characters. Like, she's kind of flat and stuff. So it's like, okay, so maybe that's one of the reasons she is the way she is. She might even be younger than the other characters, right? She might be like 18, so it's legal but not weird, kind of thing, because they're all technically in college or whatever. I don't know. I'm interested to see where the show goes, but I do agree. It's not like it's not amazing plot, kind of like what would say Rascal does Rascal and what's it called? The Bunny Girl Senpai, right? Rascal does not dream about Bunny Girl Senpai.
So close.
Am I close?
Yeah, you were like right there.
I don't care anymore. Fuck you.
You just changed a word. Rascal does not dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
Fuck. Anyways, it's not like on that level of quality of like
of
like character development and stuff like that.
This one's a lot more about the relationships than that one. That one started out and was like, relationship, first episode, don't worry, bro, we're in it. And that's what this show is. We already got the relationship. It's not about their relationship. It's about metaphysics. We're like, okay.
Yeah. It's good though. I'm still enjoying Rent a Girlfriend. I'm still watching it regularly. So
I am less and less interested with Demon King Academy. Or whatever the fuck it's called.
It's called The Misfits of Demon King Academy.
Mm-hmm. I'm less and less interested with that.
After watching the best episode with the mom and dad, you're pretty much done.
Still love the parents. The mom is fantastic. Essentially, the reason that I'm not into it is the actual plot. It just keeps being like, oh yeah, twists and turns, and this is going on now. I'm like, I just don't give a fuck. I just want to see our characters like doing cool shit together instead of like constantly being stopped by these other characters that are like, I'm actually gonna fight you, I'm not your friend. Like, it's fucking dumb. But one thing that I did think was cool is that like mom said, I'm gonna hold on to your sword for you because we gave it to you and it's a special thing and we want to make sure it's protected, so we'll keep it for you until your next fight. And then he's like, all right, mom, like if that's what you want to do, I'll let you do that because you're my mom, and like if that'll make you happy, hell yeah, hold on to it for me. And then it's way heavier than she expected, and she's having trouble like just carrying it. And then this whole group of these like half real girls or whatever, they're all like Gollum kind of girls, they're part human, part not human.
Okay.
Anyways, they are sent to protect mom, just to hang out with her and make sure she's safe. And then they all get attacked, so all the girls come in and they like die trying to save mom. And then he comes and he's like, thanks for saving my mom, you're all resurrected and fine now. And it's just like, all right, well, it's great because they protected mom, and I love the group of girls now because of that. Because it kind of felt like they were just like this pointless little fan club that hadn't done anything at that point, and now they protected mom, so I'm into them. But yeah, he just comes in last second and is like, all right, now that you're all pretty much dead, I'm going to bring you back up to health, and thanks for saving my mommy. You're all good people. And I don't know, man. It's just very...
Are you going to drop it, or are you going to still keep
No, I'm going to finish it. I mean, we're this far in. There's great animation, some fun characters, but overall the story just, oh man, I hate it.
Sorry, dog.
I don't give a fuck.
I have one more show I watched this week, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sierra really, really wanted to watch Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Stone.
Why?
I told her about I remember telling her about all the episodes, and I was like, yeah, it's really out there, it's absurd. Like, she says the word pocket spunk, and that just in her head's like, I have to watch this. I was like, all right, if you want to watch this, we will. And they're 12 episodes, 12 minutes long, so they're not super long. So I was like, let's fucking do it. So we watched all 6 episodes, and it's exactly what I thought it would be, right? It's just
literally you're just having sex with different women every episode.
Every episode is just the same. It's the same punchline. It's character doesn't want to fuck whoever the new character is that in this episode. He fucking says he's not gonna fuck him. He promises he's not gonna fuck him, and then by the end of the episode, he fucks him. And then he's just like, "Well, I'm so sad I fucked this person." And I was like,
"Yeah."
And every
episode, he's like the same engaged joke. Or whatever, right?
Yeah, he's engaged and he has the love of his life or whatever. He's like, he won the heart. He impressed her father so she can like finally get the approval to get engaged, and all this shit happens. But he just ends up fucking everybody else, and it's just like, I don't know. It is what it is. Like I said, Sierra wanted to watch it. I was like, well, if you want to watch this, we'll watch it together. It's just not good. But I will say, for people who do like this, if you like this, I mean, you can like whatever you like. It turns out on Netflix and on Crunchyroll, there's 2 seasons of this, and it's the exact same episodes, right? Except one version is called just Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Stone and Philosopher's Time, and the other one is called Peter Grills and the Philosopher's Time, and then it's like in parentheses the Philosopher's Edition or something like that. I'm like, what could that mean? It's like, does that mean
know what it means?
I was like, does that mean uncensored? It's like, because I haven't seen that on Crunchyroll before. I've seen it on High Dive and stuff, right? The whole like, I was like, well, I had to check it out. So the dialogue's the same, shit's all the same. The only difference is like it's still censored, except the censor bit, instead of it being like super massive, it's like really small, you know? So you see more, but you still don't see any of the bits. So I was like, okay, that's cool, I guess. I didn't know that was a thing. So
all right.
if that's what you're into, guys, fucking check out the second version. Might as well check out the one that shows you a little more flesh than the one that doesn't show you as much. But yeah,
blows my mind. Had no idea you would ever watch that.
She wanted to watch it. I was like, well, she wants to watch it. We'll watch it.
What's wrong with Sierra?
I don't know. She wanted to see it.
She always she's like, you trust me. This show's horrible. You guys are gonna love it. It's called Diabolic Lovers.
Damn it. Yeah. Sometimes she really surprised me. I was like, you want to watch this? Like just like some other random show. And it's like, yeah. I was like, why? It's bad. She's like, yep, I know. I was like, all right, that's fine.
I love Sierra, man. She's wild.
Man. It is what it is. Do you want to do news now?
I sure do. I only have a few pieces of news for you. Okay. So first off, Princess Connect Redive Season 2 has been announced.
Yeah, bro. I'm excited for this show. Which one's this again?
It's the Food Girls. Remember, she's like magic adventurer kind of girl, and then she's super into eating food, and there's a guy who doesn't know anything, and he's just a big old fucking dummy.
Yeah, and he got attacked by dogs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember
Season 2.
I remember really liking the way this show looked. And
it looks so good.
It does look really good.
I feel like, I feel like once you get to know the characters and you're into it, like, show's probably a pretty good time. But we weren't clicking with the characters. We weren't clicking with what was going on. So we passed up on it, which is kind of a bummer because it's getting a Season 2 and it does look good.
Yeah, it's based off a video game, right?
Really good. Yeah, I think it's based off of a video game.
Well, that's cool. Good for people who like that show. Again, nothing against it. It just wasn't for us. I thought it looked gorgeous. There's some really cool animation in that.
Hell yeah. So really weird piece of news, which is a great piece of news. Shizuka Furuya, who did Nano's voice from Nichijou, is returning to voice acting after being hit by a 4-ton truck 5 years ago.
What?
Yep. So she is back in the business, getting back in there. She has a YouTube channel that tells about her experiences as well, and she gets mild amnesia.
What a fucking trip. That news hit me like a 4-ton truck. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's awesome that she was able to survive and that she's getting back into the business, and it didn't affect her business other than, having
forgetting
to recover
stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a great piece of news. Good for her. Wish her the best. That's awesome that she's okay and she's going back to work. Good for her.
Absolutely crazy. Just tough life. But yeah. She's back at it. Violet Evergarden, the movie, is listed to be 2 hours and 20 minutes long. Dude, Kyoto Animation is going to be killing it in this movie.
Is that another movie they're making?
Yeah, this is the sequel movie. It's not like additional story. This is like it's the finale,
Okay, so the one we watched was just like a long OVA. This is the actual, this is the continuation of the plot, and we're done.
Yeah, wasn't Violet Evergarden and the Eternity of the Auto Memory Doll, wasn't that just called like a side story?
I don't know. I think it was called. I think it had side story in the thing. I just thought it was a movie because it was so long. But I didn't know it was a continuation movie.
Yeah, no. So this one is going to be continuation. 2 hours 20 minutes. It's going to be fantastic. I'm super excited.
Yeah, that does sound really cool. I'm excited for that too. It's a great show, and I'm down to see how it ends.
In October, we're getting a new gymnastics anime called Taiso Samurai. I don't know. You've seen that name thrown around a little bit. You've seen some promotional. It doesn't matter. Anyways, turns out that Mappa's team that did Zombieland Saga is going to be in charge of this one.
Okay.
There is a promotional video out if you guys want to check it out.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. That is all of the real news for you.
Okay, man. If that's all the news, let's get into this week's topic finally.
Death Note, Light Up the New World, the live action garbage
edition. Yeah.
So this was directed by our boy who directed I Am a Hero, as well as the live action Bleach and Inuyashiki, which we have reviewed all of those on the podcast.
Yeah, and at least I can personally say I was a fan of Inuyashiki and I Am Hero. I think that's still ranked as our highest live action garbage. Not super keen on Bleach, but it was fine. That might just be because I'm not a huge Bleach dude.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, we're just not Bleachers.
Yeah. So yeah, when you told me that who this person was and the movies they did, I was like, oh, dope. It makes sense. This was actually like a good movie, like in my opinion, like for what it was. Like it wasn't garbage like we expected.
It happens to be a Death Note movie, but it didn't need to be a Death Note movie kind of thing.
No.
You know, like
No,
it feels like it's its own thing, but they also, because it is a Death Note movie, they draw from the previous ones from like 10 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah. No. So it's not, and because it doesn't like, it's not based off any of the anime or the manga or anything like that. It's just a continuation of the world that the movies are based off of. And there's nothing for us to really compare it to. Like, there's nothing for me to be like, well, actually, it didn't happen like that. It's supposed to happen like this. So I was able to kind of be like, cool, I can just watch this as a movie and not as an adaptation. Which felt good, which let me like enjoy it more. I feel like, because a lot of the times when we were watching live action garbage and it's like, you know, copied from an anime or like a manga, we're just like, that's wrong. They didn't do that right. They cut all this out. But because we can't do that, I'm more able to just like, you know, review it as a movie. And it was good. Yeah, it felt like it didn't have to be a Death Note movie. It felt like a lot like a just a cop procedural with like
cool
sci-fi,
supernatural, yeah,
supernatural elements. You know, but I was like, oh yeah, cool. Let's put some Death Note stuff. And the only time that I for sure drove home that it was Death Note was whenever they would like put like old footage of the older two movies. You know, Death Note movie part 1 and 2. And they would just like use like just old footage, and you can see like just the quality of film was different. Like you can just see that the way they were dressed was for sure older. And like I always talk about Japanese Brad Pitt being the main character for Death Note. He's also one of the main characters for Battle Royale. He looks just so young. He's like baby faced, you know. And then we're able. There's. I mean, it's not huge spoilers, but we do see him in this movie, and he does like a small like video clip of like a recording, and he looks more mature. He looks more mature than he ever did in the first two movies. And we're just like, okay, cool. You just gotta like, again, you just gotta put that in the back of my head. Like, yeah, I just gotta disconnect it. Don't gotta really. I'm not gonna nail this, you know, fucking point and be like, well, actually, he's supposed to look younger. But it was like I enjoyed it. It was good. I don't think it's like a must.
You don't need to watch it, no.
But if you're like us and you've already seen the other two Death Note movies, like this feels like a good ending to like a trilogy.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really spoilers end.
Yeah, it's always it ends, but it's also like it also ends with the ending being, this will never end. This will always continue. This will always just start over and stuff like that. So it's like it's open ended for like there to be more.
Like this story is over, but there's going to be another one if they ever feel like it.
If they want to make money, yeah, because I'm sure
people will watch it. I mean, the fact that this came out in 2016, like that's pretty crazy. Death Note has had so many iterations. We got the Netflix version 2017, right?
I think so, yeah.
Just like, it's crazy how many iterations of Death Note we've seen. We of course saw the first two movies. We saw
L Saves the World, right?
L Saves the World. We saw that drama. We saw the American version. Wasn't there like one more that we've seen?
This one?
I thought there was a different one.
No, I think that's it. I think that's all there is to it. I was trying to remember something. I was like, no, that was a sequel, sidequel, prequel, fucking continuation of the one with the phones. What was that? The diary.
Oh yeah. I don't fucking know what it's called.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I sure do, because I love that show. Future Diaries. All right,
God.
We're there. We got it. Fuck, that was way too hard. Woo, baby. I'm gonna look up live action films, see how many there were.
For sure. I think it's only the ones you named off. I don't think there's any more than that. But it's still a lot. There's still a lot of, for as old as Death Note is, the manga and the anime, for it to still be like making things today.
It's crazy.
It's impressive. Well, recently, actually, I think it was this year, the original creator released like this new chapter of Death Note, and it was just like it's just like a one-off. It's been like 20 years since I made it or something like that. Here it is. And it was like a small story of like Ryuk dropping the Death Note somewhere and like a kid picking it up, like a kid picking it up and being like, how can I use this to my advantage? It's actually really well done. I feel like the story was very concise, and it felt very Death Note-y. And the character was like on that level of like light where he's just like, how can I use this? And how, he's smarter than everybody else around him. And then it ends, I feel like, pretty nicely. I'd be down to see that get made into like a movie. That'd be fun. I don't know if it's long enough. I don't know, but it still produces stuff. Death Note still keeps making things. And you and I were talking about like, maybe it's time they stop, because this feels like a good ending, especially after seeing the 2017 Netflix Death Note movie and how fucking utterly horrible it was. Even though Willem Dafoe is really good, as a whole, we're just like, this is not Death Note. You should stop.
I just read a fun fact. You know how last year they rebooted the Twilight Zone?
Yes, with fucking Jordan Peele. Yeah.
Yeah. In the first episode, The Comedian with Kumail Nanjiani.
Yes,
right?
It's like a spinoff of something or whatever. It's like an homage.
So apparently that episode was it was largely influenced from Death Note.
I don't remember seeing the first episode.
I think it was about him like getting his comedy routines from like some magical source.
Okay.
Where he essentially just started roasting people. And
was it like it was so good his comedy killed kind of thing?
Yeah, it was something weird. I don't know. Where like he wound up not having a dog anymore, and like this, he just started changing as a person and changing the timelines. I don't see how it was related to Death Note, but fun fact, it was somehow
if
inspired.
It's on the internet, it must be true. They can't lie to you on the internet.
They never do. But what a weirdly like specific thing, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but fucking we saw Light in Death Parade, which was super fun.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I would have loved to see more of that. Death Parade was pretty good. Okay, so let's quickly talk about like the overall plot of this, and then we can get into the stuff that we liked, and then because you said you had compliments, that's what you said. You said you had compliments, and then I can just spoil how it ends, and people don't have to ever watch this because it's from 4 years ago.
6 Death Notes were dropped into this world. We gotta find them. Turns out that L saved his DNA, so he has a clone of himself. Mm-hmm. And some motherfuckers going around saying he's Kira. Guess what? We get the exact same thing, Light versus L again, but like not really. Yeah, but it's the exact same characters, but not.
Yeah. Well, it's like so. There's the new predecessor to L. There's a new Kira that they're calling Neo Kira, and then the last character in the show is the guy that's in charge of the Kira task force or the Death Note task force. So it's these 3 people, all fighting to find these 6 books because for their own reasons, right?
Yeah.
The new Kira, Neo Kira says if he gets all the 6 books, he can give it to Light, who he says is still alive or whatever. The new L wants to get it because he wants to prove that he's better than the old L. And then the police dude wants to get all the books and like put them away because then no one can use them anymore. Essentially, they really do drive home that these Death Notes are like, nuclear weapons. They're like that powerful. And, there's always rules added to the books, like in the manga.
They brought up, there's like, how many rules are there? And Shin Megami's just like, I don't fucking know.
No, no.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's funny because, like, in the manga and in the anime, the rules were told at the beginning, and then as the show got on longer, like rules are added to spice things up and change things or whatever. So the rules became bigger, and then even in the new chapters that were released recently, there was also a rule added to that one. It was like the guy who was trying to pull one over and like use the death note to make himself wealthier or whatever, which was his goal because he was like a poor high school student or whatever. He does all this thing, he puts his plan into motion, and then the Demon King or the Shinigami King is like, hey man, I really like this new guy. This guy's pretty cool. It's like, but you know what? I'm adding a new fucking rule. And the rule ends up costing this guy his life or whatever. So like there's always things being added. So in this one, the cop character says, hey, how many books are there? And he goes like, there's 6 books in the human world. And he goes, what happens if there's a 7th one? He goes like, only they're talking to Shinigami. The Shinigami goes, only 6 will work. If there's a 7th one, if a 7th one shows up, it won't do anything. It's useless. So now we have a cap. There's a new rule. There can only ever be 6 death notes that work at a time in the human world.
By the way, the Shinigami that's explaining this is named Beppo. Yeah. And he looks fucking sick.
Sick as fuck,
he looks like
dude.
A freaky ass like Aztec demon made out of gold.
Yeah, he was scary looking. I love the line where like the new L or whatever is just like, hey man, put on your silliest face, because he's gonna have people touch the book so they can see him. Yeah. And I was like, I wonder what face he's gonna have. And it's just like his face is very stiff, I was just like, dude, he's scary looking, bro.
Yeah, he just looks like a freaky ass demon robot, and I love him.
So
but he's only like in there for a second, which I was kind of bummed about.
I'm also bummed about the fact that we didn't get. I mean, I understand why there's not more Shinigami because that probably cost a lot of money. We got a total of 3 in the entire movie. Yeah. So there's 6 books. So I'm just like, fuck. There's got to be 6 Shinigamis with them, right? But we do know that because of older movies and the anime and the manga, that there's times that a Shinigami can wheel and deal their way to acquiring more than one book. So it is what it is. We have another Shinigami who, what was her name? She was like the girl one.
I think it was Arma. I'm trying to find it just because I don't want to get it wrong.
But she also had a really cool design. Mm-hmm. She kind of looked like she was tall, lanky, very white, and like she was missing an eye. She was scary looking, but like beautiful, scary, like scary, pretty.
It's because she was like inspired by like a bug, like kind of like a beetle roach type thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But she also had like moth wings that like wrapped around her. Dude, she was sick.
She reminded me of one of those ants that have wings. Like, just like that's what she gave me vibes off of.
I just kept thinking about Hollow Knight. It's so cool.
And I also like that whenever she was, in shots, she was almost always like in full day, like full light. She wasn't hidden in the shadows to hide any CG. Like,
oh yeah, no, she was white too. So I thought that was pretty cool that she was so like. She was able to stand out really good. Kind of like Misa's Shinigami. But Misa's was a lot more like Ryuk.
Yeah,
so.
but Misa's Shinigami was also very like CG rubbery old. You could tell she didn't look.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, the texture was off. These textures were like fucking killer. Like it was like, wow, man, the technology has improved a lot. So obviously visually it looks just really stunning.
Yeah, you can tell that they went all out with it.
And then Ryuk looks good too. They have him in daylight, they have him in shadow. He just, he's classic design, looks pretty good. And it's just they've did some touches from the older model, so I think he also looks good. There's like to shout out to him. I don't want to make him feel bad. But yeah, so that's the basic story. Like it's just the battle for these 3 people between these 3 people trying to acquire the books as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. And cat and mouse trying to kill each other or arrest the other person, stuff like that. Yeah. And let's just talk about things we like before we actually spoil like what the big twist was and how it all ends or whatever. So what were your thoughts on this?
I really enjoyed how they weren't afraid to have characters like touching the death notes in seeing the Shinigami and just like expanding the whole story a lot faster that way. They were able to kind of like actually interview a Shinigami and ask it questions, and Shinigami was able to answer. We also got to see that really cool relationship, which I'm surprised because I still haven't been able to find it. But yeah, like Arma, whatever the Shinigami's name was, that L the new Elle had.
New Elle, yeah.
Yeah. She was a really interesting, cool character too. And I really, really liked her influence on the story, just being like, Elle refuses to use his death note that he has.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still able to maintain this like really good relationship with a like time demon, essentially. Like,
yeah. And it almost to like a romantic level. Like it almost felt like he was in love with her kind of thing.
Yeah, their relationship was really cool. And it definitely felt like something that Elle would have, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like very smart, but like he is very secluded, and to have somebody that's around him all the time, I feel like he would develop that kind of a relationship where they're that close to each other.
Yeah.
That it's maybe it's romantic, maybe it's like dependency, but he just felt like he always had her and she always had him. I thought that was an awesome relationship to add into this world that we never really got with the original series, because the closest we got to that was Misa's, who was like, I love her so much, I'll do anything for her.
And that's the second Shimigami to love her at that level. Like there's the first one who was like the round dude who saved her when she was younger.
Yeah.
And then there's the other one who was the girl one who's kind of purple and white or whatever.
But it was very one-sided.
Yeah. Because she was just so infatuated with Light, you know. And she's just like, this other Shimigami was like, fuck you, Light. Oh, I fucking love this bitch, but god damn it, I'll do anything to keep her. And we did see that relationship, but in this one it felt more
natural. Reciprocated and natural. So that's more than anything the best part about this movie, in my opinion. Otherwise it's just another Death Note thing, and they're doing a little bit of cat and mouse. Oh, I tricked you. No, I tricked you. It's a lot of that. With like a couple of plot twists, and I don't know, man. I didn't really care too much, but I had a great time with all of it.
Yeah.
So
I would say that I think that things that I liked, like, you know, I would shout out to like the original Light whenever they would like show him on the screen and stuff. Like they acknowledged him, but they also didn't make it like he's the focus, like it's all about him, like because he was just like he's there, and there's people who believe he's still alive, there's people who think he's dead, and like so, and there's times where I'm sitting there like, is he alive? Is he dead? I don't know. You know, there's no real rules to this movie because it's a continuation of just this, you know, movie universe. I know that in the manga and in the anime, he's for sure gone, but I don't know what the rules are here exactly.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we also see Misa come back in, you know, and at a capacity and stuff. And
I was kind of surprised about that.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I liked the way her character developed and how she became like who she became after all those other movies. And like when she kind of reverberates right to back who she used to be, and I go, wow, man, like good on her, especially for like an actress, because the year difference is 10 years. I think it actually is a 10 years difference. So like for her to come back to do that role, and I feel like do it well, it's really good. If I remember correctly, like she wasn't like amazing in the first movies, but
she's fine.
She's obviously like I feel like improved as an actress. She's like, yeah, she's doing good stuff. I like the new Elle. I think like he's fun.
You did a great job.
He's not trying to copy the old Elle. Like it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna do like a caricature of this. He's his own person. You do see kind of bits of Elle in him or whatever.
Yeah, you see his personality, but you don't see him being like, oh yeah, I love candy and I love sweets and I'm gonna huddle up and I'm gonna be all weird and dark.
Take off my fucking shoes and like sit on a chair all funny and got the fucking spindly fingers.
No, instead the parts of his personality that kind of shine through that are similar is that he's goofy, and he definitely has like a different take on every situation than anyone else in the room. So he feels like something's going on with him, and he's like clearly more aware of every situation, which feels very Elle. So instead of it being like, oh yeah, I know everything, don't worry, I got this, he's just like, anyone have any fucking clues? Like, check this shit out. He's just goofing off. He also has the same kind of mask that Elle had.
I really like this mask,
but it's like mask. Creepier.
It is very. It's like it's unsettling. Like it's like the color of it's like bluish gray and metallic at bits, and like it is like that weird like, you know, distorted face with like the mouth and an O and the two big bug eyes. I've seen them in other other pieces of like Japanese media. I don't know what those type of masks are called, but
I
was
don't
like,
remember. I'm bad at that.
like that's cool. It's just like an added thing. Is like I think it's pretty dope, especially because like this new L is supposed to be the good guy. He looks like a bad guy though, like the way he dresses, his hair, the way he's kept. You know, he looks like a villain, but he's just like, nah, it's just how I dress. His boots are also very round. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that. Like the boot or the front of it is like very like it looks almost cartoony. Like they shouldn't fit him. Very Ronald McDonald. But I like it. I really like the aesthetic. On the other side, like I did not like the Neo Kira aesthetic. Like his all white outfit. I was like, he had the really tight like leather jacket that was like one size too small, and then he had like the really tight jeans with the pointy white shoes on. And it's like, I get what you're doing also. I'm just not a fucking fan of it. I think you look dumb as fuck. But wear whatever you want to wear.
Yeah, he's also a crazy man, so
yeah, absolutely.
We weren't supposed to believe he's like a realistic person.
Yeah, he's a super haka, and he's a fucking Kira like lover, you know, like a supporter or whatever.
Yeah, he kept being like, Kira's God, Kira's God. Just like,
yeah, you can't fucking kill a god or whatever. It's like, dude, settle down, bro. Fucking keep it down over here. I think lastly, I want to say like when we were doing the research, we found out that there was a prequel miniseries that was released before this on television, and it was like, I'm assuming it was to hype up the movie that was going to come out that same year. It was 3 episodes. They're 20 minutes per episode, and every episode kind of highlighted a different character. Our 3 main characters in this, so the new Kira, the new L successor, and the cop boy. Mm-hmm. And the only one I watched one of them. I'm not gonna say which one I watched, but I wanted to watch it to see if they actually gave something away, like if they did some spoilery bits. Because like after watching the movie, I wanted to like then go back and watch that episode. To check it out. And they didn't spoil anything, which like fucking good on them. It did feel very promotional though. Like there's like clips of shots that we actually see in the movie, and that I feel like the quality of those videos just looked better than the other stuff we got to see. And you know, they also used old footage from the first movie and second movie in there, which just kind of also looks off because like the frames are different, the rate, I don't know, it's just the sizing is just not the cleanest, you know?
Yeah.
So I understand what they're for. I don't think it's necessary to watch those. I mean, if you're a fucking true completionist or whatever, and you want to do it just to finish like this trilogy that we went out to watch, just be like, fuck it, we'll finish it just to finish it. Go for it. I don't think it's gonna add too much more to the thing. Of watching this movie, but if you want to, you're more than welcome to. Yeah, man. I think the only other thing I really want to talk about, the other things I want to talk about are like in spoilers, talking about like the twist of the movie or whatever.
Sure, let's do that.
Yeah. So overall, I had a good time. It's not a must watch, but it's not a bad time. We can rank it on our list of live action garbage if you'd like.
Yeah, we would like.
You would like.
Let's do.
Okay, let me pull up that list for you.
Access. Yeah,
it's right in front of me.
Okay, because it's definitely high up there, but it's like, I don't know.
Okay, so here's okay. You want to go to your list so we can see what you have ranked at top?
Go to where the death notes are.
Okay, so the death notes are for you kind of near the middle. So you have Erased Netflix series as number 1, I Am Hero, Parasite Part 1, Inuyashiki, Gintama movie, Kids on a Slope, Anohana, another, Erased the movie. Then you got Bleach, the Netflix movie. Wow, you put that right there, huh? Full Metal Alchemist, the Netflix movie. Mushishi. Wow, you fucking death notes are low. Here we go. L Saves the World, which I think realistically out of all the other death movies was probably the most entertaining.
I'm gonna say this one goes above Inuyashiki.
Inuyashiki. Wow. Good, bro. Yeah, I feel like it was really good too. So we'll go Death Note, and it's like Light Up the World, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Light
so
Up
for
the
me,
New World. Sorry.
Light Up the New World, yeah. For me, I feel like this is really like I really enjoyed this just as a movie. Did I like it? I liked it more than Gintama, I feel like. Did I like it more than Inuyashiki also? I'm gonna say yes, just because Inuyashiki feels like it felt incomplete. Like I didn't like the ending of it all that much.
I'm with you there. Also, there were parts that were less fun to watch in general.
But as a fucking good note though, just so people can think about it, I Am Hero, Death Note, Light Up the New World, and Inuyashiki, which are all movies that were made by the same director, are all ranked really high on their list of live action garbage.
And Bleach is pretty high on mine.
Yeah, for sure. I think I think mine and yours actually near they're around the same spot. Yeah, there's stuff in front of it. But yeah,
like you don't remember it because we're not big Bleach fans. But after we watched it, we were like,
yeah,
that was one of the best live action remakes we've seen.
Yeah, we're like, hey, it wasn't horrible, but we're also not like diehard fans. So I'm sure diehard fans were fucking hating it. So
yeah, who knows? Whatever.
It's funny. Actually, look, I do have. Okay, so I was looking at Death. We do have the Death Note drama, which is the one that we talked about.
Man,
we have it ranked third to the bottom. So you have it above Attack on Titan and Devilman, and I have it above. Oh no, I have it second at the bottom. I have it just above Devilman. That was really bad though.
Like all of it's really bad. It could go below, it could go above. I don't know. I just know when we were watching Devilman, it was like pulling teeth. We were so tired. We were just watching it, falling asleep. Like, we have to pay attention. And then the gross face turtle shows up, and we're like, ew.
Dude, Devilman was so bad. You know what was really good, though? Devilman Crybaby. I was like, wow, what a good show.
Such a good show.
So that was the ranking. We're going to get into spoiler territory now. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Dude, so you and I were talking about how we were waiting for a twist.
Wait, hang on. Before we get into spoiler territory, if you're still around, movie was too long.
Oh, yeah, we didn't say that. Movie was too long.
An hour and a half in, both of us were like, seriously, man? Like, the movie could just end right now.
Yeah. No, we were like, there's still 30 more minutes to go. Like, what else could happen? And not like in a good way. Not in just like...
No. Not like, are they going to blow my mind? It was just like, all right, what bullshit are you going to show me?
I'm sitting there like, just do the fucking twist. Do the thing. Fucking do the thing so I can be over with it. And eventually it came. The twist eventually came. So... Thank you for saying that before we get into spoilers. Here's the spoilers.
Here's the twist.
You and I were waiting for the twist because we know there's always a twist with this thing.
It's Death Note.
It's Death Note. It has to be a twist.
Yeah.
So we get to the point where L, the new L, has died. He got killed. And then Neo Kira has acquired all 6 books, and he's going to the place that he was supposed to meet up with his girlfriend or whatever. She's like, go to the penthouse where he died. And he's just like, the Neo Kira is like, yeah, dude, that's okay. I know exactly where that is. So he goes there and he's sitting there and he asks Ryuk to give him the reprise. Also, I just want to shout out, people are more willing to take the reprise in this movie. I'm so fucking down for it.
Honestly, why wouldn't you? If you're already going to start killing people and trying to change the world for the better, wouldn't that just make it easier? And then if you get corrupted anyways, like, fuck it. Who needs to live?
I just love the idea that like Light is so just the character of Light. He's so fucking mighty and powerful. He's like, I can't risk to give up half of my lifespan to have this amazing power because I need to be around for however long it can be. And everybody else is like, fuck it, give me the eyes, dude. It's so fucking strong.
I love it. Yeah. And then like L is like, yeah, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah. Fucking Misa took the eyes 3 times, dude. Fucking twice in the original movies, right? And then another one in here. I was like, dude, like, her clock has to be so fucking small. And I was hoping that that's how she was going to die. Like, we would see her timer run out. But it was actually, she just wrote her name down. I was like, fuck,
They also didn't show any, like, cheesy times above people's heads or anything.
Yeah. It wasn't, too crazy. Anyways. So the Neo Kira sits down and asks Ryuk, say, hey, I'll trade you this book for the eyes. And he goes, you sure? He's like, yeah. He's like, what do you need him for? He's like, I'm going to kill Kira. And he's going to become the new Kira. So then we're told that our mind is blown and it's like, wait, so this Neo Kira isn't actually the Kira that everybody's looking for? This guy in the white cladded outfit isn't who people are looking for? Like, he's being, manipulated by someone else. So there's someone else behind the scenes.
It makes sense. Since Neo Kira kept being like, Kira's God. Can't kill Kira. Kira's the fucking best. I do this for Kira. And you're like...
And he's like...
You're doing this for you?
For you. Yeah. And then it's like, oh. But then he's like, I'm going to kill Kira because this Neo Kira isn't the real Kira. I'm going to be the real Kira. It's like, okay, cool. And so then our fucking cop boy shows up and it's just like, are you the Kira? He's like, I'm a fucking cop. I'm just trying to fucking arrest you. And he's like, okay, well, I guess I won't kill you. And then L shows up, who wasn't actually dead. The new L wasn't actually dead. He's like, nah, man, my name's already in a death note, so you can't write someone's name down twice, bitch. And it's just like, well, who the fuck is the new Kira? And then L's just like, I think it's you. I think it's a cop dude. I'm gonna call it. I think it's you. He's like, touch this book because there's the thing. If you give up the book, you're able to have your memories erased. He's like, the guy's like, I think I would remember being the new Kira. And he's just like,
here's something I had a huge problem with though. I hate it when shit is like, this is gonna happen, and then a character does something, and you're like, it's not happening, and then it fucking happens.
And it happens. Yeah,
I hate that shit so much because it's like it adds no suspense for the viewer. It just like kind of feels bad for the character.
Yeah, it does feel bad.
There's no reason. I'm like, you don't need to fuck with them like that. It makes no sense why it would take a few seconds longer.
Just make it happen, you know? So he touches the book and he does the whole like, I'm fine, everything's okay. And then he has a flashback and we see that, you know, apparently, which is like, we didn't talk about this before spoilers, but Kira had a kid that he sent to the United States who was 9 years old, and Ryuk got him a book, and the message that was being spread around of light was actually supposed to give him to his son. It's this whole thing. The little boy was writing names in the book. He went insane. He was killed by the guy that was supposed to be taking care of him. Our fucking cop boy ran up on them while this was happening, killed him, became the possessor of the book. And since he's an otaku for this Death Note stuff, he's like, maybe I could try my hand at it. And he does a great job. And he puts all the wheels into motion. And he gave away the book. He wrote down L's name, you know, very reminiscent of like older stuff. And I'm just like sitting there, be like, of course that's the twist. Of course the twist is the good guy is actually the bad guy because it's Death Note. Why wouldn't that be the twist?
And he planned it all along. Is the whole
and I was
point.
like, fuck. Yeah, so it was, and then, you know, then there's like a giant shootout. Everybody starts dying.
It's not just a giant shootout. It's a fucking helicopter that starts shooting at them.
Yeah, it's a fucking massacre.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's like, it was so over the top. And then he's like, the white boy in the white outfit is like killing people, doing a good job. He gets away. We see the cop girl show up. I thought the cop girl might have been the new Kira. I was like, oh, is that the twist? It was the cop chick, and it wasn't. And she's just like, but her twist was like, you killed my brother. Yeah, he was a criminal, but you didn't have to kill him. And so she's going to kill him. L sacrifices himself, in quotations. And then this is the bit where like the Shinigami that we like, the white one or whatever, sacrifices herself to save L, because we know that Shinigami aren't allowed to do that kind of stuff because they're not allowed to save other people's lives because it goes against what they believe in, so they'll disintegrate.
You can't meddle in human affairs unless
not like
you drop them a death note and you meddle in human affairs.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a bummer that she died, and you know, I felt like a good moment. I do want to say though, that she had her own white book, you know, that she was using. So the book that Elle had wasn't actually her book. She was just kind of around, which kind of I felt like was kind of interesting. Meaning
there could only be 6 books.
Right, yeah. So I was like, okay, cool.
But it also means that like somebody touched that book and was able to see her, you know?
Someone touched her book.
Yeah.
The white book to see her. And I think that the piece of paper that was like taped to the light post or whatever was like not a part of the book that he had owned, right? So that's why it was there. It was separate. And that's why the cop dude, when he came into the room, touched the light.
Like,
that's how he knew that, okay, cool, he can see her, not because of this book. I will say, though, I guess they did a good job of having the cop dude not touch his original book to get his memories back beforehand. But yeah, that was the big twist. And then to end it all, be all, is like, he ends up going to jail. All 6 books are acquired. Elle knows he's going to die. This guy's in prison. He goes up to me and goes like, hey, man, I'm going to die because you wrote my name in the book for today. The books aren't safe like you were hoping. They're not being put behind vaults. They've been stolen. There's already 4 of them out loose somewhere, you know. People are killing people with death notes. And he goes like, you have to continue this. Like, I'm going to take your place here and you're just going to be the new L. And the guy's just like, oh, dude, am I even like qualified to be the new L? And the fucking clone dude is just like, dude, I'm above the law. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. And
I loved when he said that. He's like, I'm not fucking in the police force. Fuck that.
Bro, I do whatever the fuck I want. And he's just like, he goes, even though like I'm a clone and you're just like a normal person, you're absolutely qualified to be the new L successor. Fucking go get it, champ. And so the guy just walks out of prison. And the guards are just like, yeah, 1 for 1. You know, there's a human there, a human left. Fair is fair. You know, and he's just like, his new mission is to get all the books and, you know, protect it, because Ryuk would had a big old spiel where like, hey man, this will never end. Like you can try to stop it, but humans are always gonna be going after the death notes. Like it's never gonna stop. And that's why he's like super juiced. Like this is why it's so much fun, because I get to watch all of it and yada yada yada. So it ends, but it doesn't end. That's what we were talking about earlier, that like it has this ending, but not really.
And then after the credits,
Oh yeah,
of course,
I had a feeling. I was like, there's gonna be something after the credits.
Do that shit. So after the credits, Light comes back in and he's like, just like I planned. Boom. The end.
Boom. Boom. Boom.
Like original Light.
Yeah, like OG Light, fucking Japanese Brad Pitt, looking sexy as all heck.
Hella dumb.
Yeah, man. Something I didn't mention earlier was like there's other people using the death notes before our main three characters. We got the Russian doctor. We got a guy that's doing stock office stuff. We got a judge and
killed
stuff.
And
and they got their books taken away. I like that. I like that there was other elements, and I like that we did see the new Neo Kira who wasn't really Kira. Taking them out slowly and being like, yeah, dude, I've already acquired 2 of these books. I just need like 4 more or whatever. And it's like, dude, he's being really efficient with his job, going out there fucking getting it. Because the fucking cop dude, I mean, I guess, he brainwashed himself, but he was all heck doing trash. He's like, he only got 1 book, and that wasn't even his like doing. Fucking Elle had a huge part in it, and so did the guy that was also there that wrote the girl's name. Because there was
she was being fucking dumb about it.
Yeah, she was just like walking through the crowd. That scene did irk me just because I was like, I know there's a giant crowd and they're pushing against you, but it can't be that hard to get up to that girl. Like, I've been to Anime Expo. I pushed my way through fucking crowded hallways to get to her. And I was like, God, this is taking you're letting way too many people die right now. That's my whole feeling for that whole thing. I did also like the fact that the police force, the Kira task force had been improved and had changed, a bit. Like,
and they all like covered their faces and stuff too. It was just, it was awesome.
And no one shared their real names, and none of them had family. Like, there had to be like these strict rules for you to be in it. And they even brought back the guy who was the youngest on the original Kira task force into this movie. I was like, oh, that's a cool touch. And the episode I went back and saw earlier was specifically the cops episode, because I'm like, I want to see if they're going to spoil this, that he's actually the bad guy. They do a really good job of not doing it. It just feels like a really like basic cop procedural. Like, they're the Kira task force, and they're really underfunded or whatever, and it's like, hey, someone had a heart attack and died, we think it's Kira. And so then they go investigate, and they come back like, no, it wasn't actually Kira, it was just some dude that murdered him because he didn't like him. We solved the case. And they're like, good job. And then this is in 2015, which is a year before the movie starts, right? Like, in that timeline.
Yeah.
And then Kira finds out about this, Neo Kira, or somebody finds out about this, and makes the new this guy that was pretending to be Kira kill himself and say, hey, Kira's back or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then the police chief comes in and is like, bro, we're gonna give you a shit ton of funding. We're gonna give you like all new computers. You get a whole new fucking building with AC, like office with AC. We're gonna give you all the shit because Kira's coming up and you guys got to get ready. So it was like I said, like, it didn't really add a lot to the story, but it was like cool. They didn't at least ruin
it was
the
just
story.
Nice development. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, man, it was all right. I feel like that's it. Yeah, I feel like that's all we can really say about it.
It's more than enough.
Yeah, no, we talked a bunch, but I enjoyed it. I've always been a fan of Death Note. I feel like every time I see things like this, it makes me just want to go back and watch the anime, just kind of pop it in the background and listen to it. Because, like, again, it's not perfect. It's older. It's, I'm sure I'm not going to recommend it to people nowadays. Like, hey man, you got to watch Death Note. But it's something that's still like near and dear to me. Like, I really enjoyed it when I was like first getting into anime, and like Madhouse was like my shit. Like, that was my favorite studio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that they're a bad studio anymore, but they
just don't have as much.
Yeah, they're not like the studio that I remembered when I was like getting into anime, at least originally. So yeah, that's it. That was our talk about Death Note, Light Up the New World. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do you know what we're doing next week? Because I don't fucking know.
I don't know, man. One final note. We did check out this new manga app called Mangamo. They hit us up to check it out. It is a subscription app that you could get on your phone, and you could only use it on your phone. The interface is pretty clean. It's a lot like High Dive, but my complaints with it are that they don't have quite enough of the series of manga that they have on there.
Like they'll have Land of the Lustrous, but not all the chapters. Like,
only 6 chapters opposed to the like 100 or whatever that there actually are. So it's nice to get a little like taste of what the different manga are out there if you're looking for a legal way to view that. They're also doing some exclusives. So they did Japan Sinks 2020. As you know, there's a Netflix anime adaptation of the novel. So this is the first time that there is a manga of it. And I checked it out. That's why I actually decided to check out the service. You know what, man? You don't need to read it.
Yeah, the manga's not that great.
Which sucks, because I thought we were going to get something that was like, oh, maybe it's a different set of people, maybe it's a different story, maybe something like that. But instead, it was just a very in-your-face, like, hey, here are the characters, here's their things, and now we're getting into the actual show that you watched.
Yeah. You might as well just watch the show. Right?
Especially since it's Masaki Yuasa who did the show, and he's incredible, and the show was just a great time. But yeah, check out the app if you're looking for just like little previews of manga. It's really clean, pretty easy to use. Doesn't have a search function, but it does have everything alphabetized. It also has like a recommendation search section, so you could look up a few different genres at the same time, and it'll find a specific kind of manga that you should check out. So yeah, I'm going to be using that service just to kind of check out manga that I haven't heard of before. And I think that that's really the highlight of this app. Really clean, high quality images, simple to use. It's called Mangamo.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I didn't actually read the manga. I did get to download the app. I did look at the interface, and I was like, this does look really clean for what it is, right? Like, I feel like it's still early on. Like, it's past beta. It's out there. It's like a live thing. It for sure needs to improve more. It's kind of like High Dive needs to get better at what they're doing. But you can see the merit there. Like, I get what they're doing, and I think it's dope. Like, because a lot of people, read manga illegally that it's scanned in, and that's just because that's the only way to do it. But I feel like if there's to get it, the recent chapters not have to wait for a volume to be fucking dubbed over. So I feel like this is a good alternative to do things the proper way that hopefully get money into the right hands as opposed to just kind of taking it from the internet. So that's good. More power to them.
Since we're talking about scans and getting stuff illegally, a lot of people online are bummed right now because Kiss Anime is gone. It's a website that people used to stream a bunch of anime for free that was ripped and often had like really shitty quality, all these different things. You could watch a ton of anime for free still with commercials in between. Like Crunchyroll's like pretty much whole catalog is available for free for tons of people. Now there's all different kinds of way that you could support anime and watch it on different services. So even though people are used to using Kiss Anime and just getting their anime for free, get a subscription service. It's not that expensive. You can watch so much while supporting a medium that you love. And you know what? If you're poor, do something like I used to do, where like I didn't have the money to sign up for every subscription service that I wanted. So I would look up different anime, I would torrent it, and if I enjoyed it, I would buy it. I would make sure that my purchase goes towards something that I genuinely care about. That kind of stuff, man. That's how I supported anime before I was able to actually support it and just
support anime,
consistently buy and watch. And
no, I agree. It does kind of suck that Kiss Anime is gone, because like that was a huge source for a lot of people to get stuff. But I mean, you do got to realize that they weren't on the up and up, and that's why they're gone.
Exactly.
It was pretty cool for them to have stuff that you might not have thought of, for a long time I couldn't find Paranoia Agent anywhere. And, that was the only place you could get it, right? But now it took time, but I'm pretty sure it's on Funimation, and might even be on Crunchyroll. It happens slowly but surely. Anime makes its way out there to the proper streaming services, and man. I mean, we might sound like a bunch of squares, but we're just trying to make sure that people get money for what they did.
Hey, if we cared a lot about money, we would make our podcast monetized. Like, we've never done that. We have no intention of doing that. We just want people to have a good time.
Not till we get that big Google buyout or Facebook buyout. That's when fucking Rooster Teeth's like, hey man, we need you off the market. And I'm just like, all right, Rooster Teeth, you're gonna fucking pay out the ass. All right, man.
Yeah, man. Well, just support the things that you love any way that you can.
Yeah, the best way you can.
Yeah.
And if if you were a big fan of Kiss Anime, R.I.P. Sorry for your loss. Okay, cool. That's the show. If you like our theme song, check out Tom Nasser on SoundCloud and YouTube. Trip, where can we find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. You can tweet at us at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast Interfit.
You can shoot us an email, instantramenpodcast@gmail.com. And despite what we said before about being able to stream Fall Guys on Twitch, We stream our podcast every week, sometime around 8. This week it was more around like 8:30, 8:40. But we always stream on twitch.tv/Crispather. So check that shit out too.
It's not as good as Fall Guys, like if we were to stream it, but it's something.
Well, we could stream Fall Guys without our faces, but it just doesn't seem right anymore. Like the fact that we get our faces out here for the freaking podcast, I don't know, man.
I feel like the best quality of us is our voices. Like, fuck our faces. Fuck your and my face. It's all about our voices.
All right, fuck it. We'll stream it next time we play Fall Guys. I'm going to stream it on PlayStation. Let's do it. I don't give a shit.
Maybe. You got to be careful. We can't let Tom be there. He's too much of a fucking loose unit. And
Only
then
with
Beliza's
Tom.
trash. No, if Beliza's there,
Only.
we're gonna be backing out every round because she can't get past the seesaws
People
and the
don't
whirly
need that
gates.
progress. They just want the hangout. They just want the chill sesh. They just want to hit us up on Twitter and say, lol, you're hella bad. You said that you were good and you fucking suck.
I don't know. We'll talk about it. Anyways, this is bye from Juan.
See you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.